the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no. Stuff and things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants. So Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio.
Oh, I didn't realize my mic was on. Hello. Apparently breaking things in here. I don't know what the hell's happening. I don't know what she's doing back there. Good morning. It is a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Griffin. There was a baseball game last night, and I'm sure somebody had a good time.
Phillies fans.
I would think they probably had a good time. That was the pitcher the Orioles had the most likely chance against this week.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe.
No.
Well, I mean, I think like if Monday night had kept going poorly, they might have put a position player in at some point.
And
then I think they would have had a chance, maybe to.
Wait, you're suggesting that if the Phillies got up by a certain amount of runs,
they
would have
by
turned
like
to a
16.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
What do you mean you don't think so?
I just don't think they would have done that. I think that was your chance last night against Taijuan Walker, and the Orioles proceeded to score 0, none, not a single run. But hey, man, those things happen. I think I'm all right there. I think so. I think we're good. Yeah, you can. I mean, I don't know what happened with those things. It's a whole. I apparently broke the headphones as the show was starting, but that's okay. What do we need those for? I got nothing. You want me to be mad about something? I can't be mad about something.
Clearly you are. I mean, you're just...
Well, I'd taken it out in the headphones, whatever it is. But I'm not mad about the results of one particular baseball game. The season's over. Come on, man. None of this matters now. There's a weird reaction to something that Matt Snyder from CBS said yesterday. When we were talking about, Matt Snyder brought up, like, hey, if I'm an Orioles fan, I'm looking at the whole of the rebuild and saying it wasn't worth it. That what I've gotten has been 2 trips to the playoffs, not a single playoff win, and now we're right back to having to sell. Yeah, now you're seeing what I'm dealing with.
I know.
Griffin's over there.
I
like,
guess this is a post-show.
What's up with the old man struggling to put the cover back on the headphones? Because I just gave up and said we can deal with it when the show's over. And Griffin's like, I'll fix it. Okay, old guy. I had a moment. We took my lifelong best friend passed away like 5 years ago. 6 years ago now? Yeah, 6 years ago. And his nephew, who's now 15, wanted to go to his first concert. And it happened to be that these 3 bands that my late best friend enjoyed were all playing down in Northern Virginia on Sunday. So we took him to the show. But I waited till the very last minute to buy a ticket because I wanted to see if the prices would keep coming down. So we're in the parking lot, and I said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and buy my ticket. Buy my ticket. Go to scan the ticket, and I go to my Ticketmaster app, and there's nothing there. Nothing. There's no ticket. And I'm like, what the hell, man? What's going on here? Like, I don't understand. And my best friend's 15-year-old nephew says, okay, old man, you want me to fix your phone for you? And did that hit. Like, did that seep in for me. And then I think I mother effed him.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, go right ahead, mother effer. It turns out he couldn't fix it because it wasn't my fault. It was Ticketmaster's fault, like everything else is in this country.
So nice stretch of a couple days here where you're not as old as you kind of think you are.
Yeah, all these young
Couldn't
people
fix the
who are just like,
headphones.
old man Clark over there struggling. No.
I mean, I'm still gonna fix it. It's
Yes,
just,
but after and I could
we're
fix
trying
it
to do a show
after the show.
Oh yeah.
I could.
Okay,
I don't
then
really
do it.
feel like spending my time on it. I feel like letting you spend your time on it. I could. I just don't want to.
Or
that's the answer.
we never fix it.
We just never use the
It's
headphones
kinda,
again.
Well, no, we do. We just not you or I.
Oh, we give those like when Moose is in here on Friday. We'll give them to him. Not Mike Messina. Not that
Moose?
Moose, unfortunately. He's not much of one for interviews, but a pro wrestler Moose will be in studio with our buddy AJ Francis
sweet.
on Friday. Anyway, I don't know where we were going with this. What
I
were we
gotta learn
talking about?
Moose's
Oh, we were talking about
walkout insurance.
we were talking about this thing from Matt Snyder where like part of it was reading comprehension. A number of people were like, "Oh, you got a problem with what they did at the trade deadline just because I'm like, that's not what he said." He's talking about the totality of it, and his point is well taken. That even if you don't think this is them rebuilding again, it's not supposed to be happening like this. You're not supposed to have gotten into your launch only to then have to sell. And even if we can say, hey, nothing they did this year at the deadline is dramatic, although it was also not necessary in terms of either Andrew Kittredge or Ramon Laureano in particular. And we do also, on top of that, learn yesterday that they had to spend over $8 million in order to buy the prospects that they received. Like, they made some trades, but they also spent a lot of money in order to get the returns that they got on those trades. And none of those returns are going to help them on the field anytime soon. Now, as has been pointed out, they could help in sort of being traded again to try to get pieces that could help you on the field soon. It's not a rebuild, but it's something, whatever you want to call it, and that's not where you should be. 3 years into success, and frankly, if you include the 2022 season, where perhaps if they had been more aggressive, maybe they would have been in the mix to get into the playoffs. So we want to say the 4th year into this process, you're not supposed to be having to sell. That is a failure. Now, as Matt Snyder said yesterday, for the handful of people that were worked up, because far more people were in agreement with Matt Snyder, for the handful of people that were worked up, this isn't the end. But as I keep talking about, I'm very concerned about how this gets fixed by next year. And then if it's not fixed by next year, what is the Adley Rutschman in all of this? And these things are very real. You can keep saying, well, you have a young core to build around, but, do you? Do you? Hypothetically, you do. Potentially, you do. And hopefully by this time next year, it's going to be hard at that point to call it a young core, but whatever you want to call it at that point.
Adley's got 2 seasons left?
Hopefully, but you don't even have a core right now. Yeah. You have a Gunnar Henderson and a Jordan Westberg and some maybes. And Jordan Westberg's not a superstar. He's just a solid baseball player. And then you have some maybes. Jackson Holliday, the maybe that you probably feel the best about, but as I keep saying, don't actually look at Jackson Holliday's numbers when you try to convince yourself of that. If you ignore his numbers and just go off of vibes, then you think you've got something in Jackson Holliday. But if you look at the numbers, you have no idea if either Adley Rutschman or Colton Cowser are anything more than replacement-level baseball players. No clue in those circumstances. So do you have a young core?
I mean, yeah, these guys are all under 30.
I mean, there's that. You have a group of players that are not in their 30s. I'll give you that much. But what is the young core? And this is the problem we have these conversations, is to say, hey, it's not over. Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be over, but is it a thing right now? Is there a cavalry? Samuel Pasayo presumably is going to be a part of it, and who knows, maybe Dylan Beavers is part of it. Maybe it's just a new young core that you're going to have. But the idea of having this group of 5 players, and that's the group of 5 players that's going to be such a rock-solid group, and you're going to build it like that, is completely up in the air. So, I think that part of what people are struggling with is sort of the acceptance of that reality. But you can't change the reality. You can't wake up today and say, you've got a group of 5 players that anybody in baseball would want. No, not at all. And to be fair, like, that core that we thought they had in Atlanta, that doesn't look the same way today. This happens all the time. It's not crazy that not all 5 guys that you identified would prove to be exactly what you would hope they were going to be. It's a little weird that, like, in Adley Rutschman's case, he got there and then receded. That's not normally the way that works. Like, it's more often you just don't become that. These heralded prospects just don't pan out at the big league level. It's very odd that Adley Rutschman panned out only to then regress dramatically. But I don't know what you have.
And is that something that needs to become part of the conversation? Like, how do they have all these guys where it's like, oh, this guy looks great in single A, in double A, in triple A, and then all of a sudden they hit a wall and they can't dig out of it? Like,
well, it's why, like, I tried asking the question, can this be fixed by just the right manager? And, like, the answer eternally is maybe. Like, maybe you can bring in a manager that can get more out of a group of guys, but, as was pointed out by Matt yesterday, like, there's just not a whole lot of hard-ass old-school managers left. And maybe somebody would say, well, it doesn't have to be a hard ass. It's just somebody that has a better developmental or a better baseball mind that can work with these guys. I don't know what it has to be. But I don't even think it's panic. Remember, it's like 2 to 3 months ago, I was starting to have the alarm bells go off like, are they even a year away? I'm telling you, it's full-on panic for me. Like, I'm in the mode where, until proven otherwise, I think this thing might be irreparably broken. There's just nothing here.
Do we need a Eliasometer?
For whether or not he's going to get fired?
Well, no. I mean, if like how worried? Yeah, I guess Eliasometer isn't the right.
Yeah. Like, where's measure your panic?
Yeah.
Like, this thing's coming down. I mean,
what do you mean? They never lose.
We could take it down today.
They never lose ever.
Yeah, we could take it down today. This is nothing. Where's my level of panic?
But all those guys tried so hard.
Thank you. We appreciate that. If what you're asking is measure my level of panic about
2026, I guess.
About specifically 2026, I don't know. 75% convinced that you can't compete for a World Series in 2026. Is that the measurement?
Yeah.
Like, because if you said, can you compete for a playoff spot in 2026? Well, I mean, hell. There's a team every year that I think they can compete for a playoff spot almost accidentally, right? Everybody, look around baseball this year. No one thinks anybody's good. Like, who's good?
The Dodgers look good again.
Again, that's a good point. The Dodgers have kind of righted the ship. So save for the Dodgers.
Astros are getting pitchers healthy.
Like always. It's the two teams that we always know are going to be there. And
Yankees
then
lost again.
They lost again. Yes, 100%. Like, so tell me who else besides those two teams.
Guess who shut down the Yankees?
Is definitively
Nathan Eovaldi.
That's weird.
It would be cool to have him, maybe.
Interesting. What a thought.
He's got like a 1.3 ERA this season.
Oh, does
ridiculous.
Does he? I mean, I got nothing to say about that. I mean, like that. What we can't do is pretend like that one thing would be the difference.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we can't do that. Look, man, it's what it is. But to compete to win a championship, I am more and more convinced every day that this group, this core, whatever you want to call it, is not going to be competing for a championship. That they've and I get it. Like, I can change my mind. That is the nice part about this. This is not me. I'm not trying to predict the future. I'm just trying to accurately tell you how I feel right now. And seeing this group lethargic, lethargic to say the least, and they've been lethargic all season. Save for Gunner, who was lethargic for a bit and is now a better version of himself, but is still not an
he
MVP.
Had 40, he almost hit 40 home runs last year.
Yes, like he's not that, but he's definitely a better version of himself. Like I can't lump him in with completely lethargic. Everything else is just lethargic. It's happening aimlessly. They'll play again today because they have to, and then they'll play this weekend, and Adam Jones will be there, and that'll be nice. That'll be fun. That'll
Think we'll get our first walk-off finally?
Why would I think that would happen?
Because Adam Jones is in the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
And he does the pie thing.
Right.
Maybe that's what they need.
They need pies, and that'll solve
Maybe they get a
everything.
walk-off this weekend. Adam Jones pies the walk-off hero.
I do get a lot of this from people like, what does your gut really tell you about Mike Elias? And my gut is until I hear someone, like, if I asked around to my baseball people, no one has told me that they are hearing that the Orioles intend to move on from Mike Elias. And until I see like if Ken Rosenthal wrote something tomorrow, I think because he was the one that wrote a few weeks back, like, put in the caveat, if Mike Elias is back next year. But hasn't really followed up on that in a way that would make me think what he was saying was, I'm hearing that's not a certainty. Ken Rosenthal writes something, says, hey, I'm hearing this. Okay? Then it's a real conversation. Until then, there's just not a lot. Again, in talking to people around baseball that I talk to, and I'm not talking to Orioles sources. This is not they're not going to tell me anything like that. But nobody's like reached out to me. This is the way that it typically works. When I have one of my friends that works in baseball, one of the people that I know that works in baseball, if they hear something like that, hey, dude, did you know this? I'll get a text about it. I haven't gotten anything like that. So I don't have any reason today to believe that Mike Elias isn't going to continue being the general manager. And they just let him spend, another nearly $10 million to buy baseball prospects this week. I get it. We can say, hey, these guys certainly have $10 million. Like, it's not going to hurt them.
And do they look at it like they're all floating the Morton contract and Kittredge and whatever? So maybe it's
worth the trade-off.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know those answers. But whatever. They'll play another baseball game today. That's all I got. Today's show is brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. You guys know I've been taking a peptide treatment, and it has been great for me. It's really helped me feel better and get a little life. And you get to a certain age as a man, and you just feel sluggish and run down, and you don't feel like yourself. And sometimes that's because you're low T. And you can get a complimentary testosterone test from Game Day Men's Health by going to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. But sometimes it has nothing to do with that. Like, I'm not low T at all, but I still felt sluggish and run down. And they can help you just feel more like yourself. They can also help with performance issues in the bedroom. They can help with stubborn belly fat, stuff that men deal with at a certain age that's very difficult to talk about with your buddies. You don't want to walk in and be like, hey, man, any of you guys don't feel like a man anymore? They got you at Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call. Game Day Men's Health, Owings Mills, 443-264-4454. Game Day Men's Health in Columbia, 443-266-3505. Or Game Day Men's Health in Frederick. If you're headed out west, 240-931-3717. Ravens hold a joint practice yesterday with the Indianapolis Colts. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're scheduled to be joined by Nick Cross, former Terp, now Colts safety. Later on, Rod Woodson scheduled to join us, the Hall of Famer. Will tell us a little bit more about what he's expecting from the Ravens' first preseason game tomorrow, as he'll be on the call on WBAL. We'll also talk to Michael Lombardi, now North Carolina football GM, of course, a longtime NFL executive and media personality. He is going to join us a little bit later on this morning, and we're going to talk some more Terps. Gerry DiNardo, the former Indiana and LSU coach, Big Ten Network analyst. He was down in College Park when they were there Monday night, I believe. Yeah, Monday night for their preseason tour. So we will chat with him about what he saw from the Terps and how he feels about them. All that coming up on the program. As far as, I guess, the incident, as yesterday there was...
And we'll confront Nick Cross about it.
Yeah, what was your involvement?
Yeah,
what did you
problem,
have to do with this? Look, you don't want anybody throwing punches. These chippy things happen. It's always been interesting to me, right? Like, I guess if you throw a punch in a football game, it just ends there, right? You get ejected from the football game and you get a fine. I don't know the rules to what happens when you do this in a joint practice. Obviously, Nate Wiggins got thrown out of the joint practice, but oh no.
Valuable reps.
So I wonder if at some point the NFL is going to step in and, like, when these things happen, say...
Well, remember Aaron Donald, swung a helmet?
Yes, 100%. And I 100% said this can't be... it can't just be okay. Like, at some point, the NFL is going to have to step in and say, this stuff that happens like this during joint practice, you're going to get suspended for a game. Just to say, we're not doing it anymore.
But clearly...
you can't do it in the game or you're going to get ejected from the game. You do it in a joint practice, again, if the only punishment is you get kicked out of practice.
Darn it.
Right. What's going to decentivize you from... and this isn't me going after Nate Wiggins. Again, it's a joint practice, and as of right now, there's no real penalty for Nate. But you don't want that happening either. You don't want anyone throwing punches on a practice field. And it's easy to say, well, this is football, and this is a men, they're out there in the heat, and guys are getting after it, and they haven't seen a different color.
Exactly.
And all of that nonsensical stuff.
You nailed it. Oh.
Yeah, correct. We can say this until you're blue in the face. The answer can't be, well, that it's okay for guys to be throwing punches. And I don't know. Will Nate Wiggins get fined? I think he will. I think that's part of it. But I do think that moving forward, it's going to have to be more than that because the NFL, the teams have decided there's value in these joint practices. They're going to keep doing more and more of them. The Ravens are doing 2 this year. This isn't going away. In fact, the teams are saying this is the actual preseason, unlike the games, which are nothing. So...
Don't say that.
What's that?
Tomorrow's a big deal.
Yeah, thank you. It's very important. Hell. Actually, there's no Orioles game tomorrow night. So. I remember the days of us salivating over preseason football because of the dregs of an Orioles summer.
Always have.
Yeah, that's you. If there's going to be, they're going to keep emphasizing these things and you're going to keep doing more and more of them, they're going to have to say we don't want this stuff to happen. Is it the end of the world? No. Nobody appears to have gotten hurt. Everybody appears to be okay. They got back to practicing.
Like you said, it was hot out.
Right, hot out, tempers running, the whole thing. Boys will be boys. Whatever silly thing you want to say. But we do have to say, you don't want that. That's not the goal. Can't be, well, we'll just let these guys get their fighting out during these joint practices. That can't be the plan. They do have to come up with something else to try to prevent these things from occurring. They do have to figure that out at some point. Will they?
No.
It might just be the type of thing where it just goes, much like the Saints thing was much louder. They tried to fix it. They decided it didn't work and then just said, the hell with it. We tried. It might just be that they assume this conversation exists in one city on one day and maybe not even really in one city on one day. It might be that everybody else in town is just talking about how Tyler Loop made all of his kicks. I don't know what they're talking about.
Well, Lamar Jackson looked good.
Vinny and
Charlie Kohler has hands, we found out.
Oh?
Yeah.
Sure. Lots of things that we didn't know before yesterday. It's nothing funny. I got to tell you guys, Lamar Jackson looks great. Oh?
Apparently Cooper Rush not so great.
Oh, no. Well, that's it. That's it. Cancel the Super Bowl. That's it. God, I don't remember who somebody tweeted out. I think Jonas might have tweeted out something about their red zone struggles yesterday. I was just like, well, that's it. It's over. We tried,
I saw somebody was giving Cordell a hard time. They were like, you can so tell when guys are fans of the team. This is terrible. And Cordell's not a Ravens fan. That was
so stupid. God. This is the problem, right? Is like the Ravens have not. I mock all of the coverage of training camp in the preseason because it's all pointless. It exists to exist.
It's needed,
right? Like, and this is not me knocking, because I understand if you have that job, you have to do something. But we need none of it. We don't need any of it. Literally, the only thing we need to know is, did somebody get hurt? That's it. That's the list of things that the fan base needs to know. Now, I do appreciate I think it's a good time for intro stories and learning about players' backgrounds. And there's a lot of features that come out during training camp in the preseason because without games to be played, guys are far more inclined to talk like that and do longer conversations on the field. So that part of training camp coverage I think is very good. But the coverage of practice is awful. I think it actively makes us worse football fans because we think any of it matters at all. Like, oh man, this is, and by the way, it's the same thing. Every team, every day. Boy, the people covering the Tennessee Titans couldn't tell you about how good the Tennessee Titans look. The most irrelevant franchise in all of football.
My buddy's in Nashville this week, and I joked that when he comes back, he's going to be saying the Titans are going to be 17-0.
This is the way it works. You go, you see the cut. Oh man, I got to tell you, I can't even think of Titans player. Who's
Cam Ward?
Yeah, Cam Ward. There's actually, you wanted to see covering
Chig.
Cam Ward makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. But like Nick Westbrook Akine just looks unbelievable.
Someone's
going to
have to step up with Treylon Burks going. You know,
is Tyler Boyd also gone? Who do they have at wide receiver?
I think it might just be Nick Westbrook.
We're not going down. We're not going down that road. We're not spending any time.
Fine.
No, we're not doing it.
We're
We're not spending any time talking about the Tennessee Titans wide receivers. That's my mistake. I screwed up. My fault.
They
sorry.
got the kid from Stanford, Io Manor.
It's not Eric. It's something like
Elick.
Elick. Yes.
Elick.
Io Manor.
Yeah. Van Jefferson's there. Tyler Lockett is a Tennessee Titan.
That's right.
Yeah.
Should
we save this and play this game? Oh, guess who?
Oh,
else?
we are definitely going to end up playing.
James
that game.
Prochet is a Tennessee Titan.
No, he's not.
He most certainly is.
Well, how about that?
Oh, Calvin Ridley. We did know that.
Well, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
Xavier Restrepo from Miami ended up there.
No, I didn't realize that's where Xavier
was. They've got a receiving room.
Listen to you.
Come on.
Listen, you're not even there. You're not even watching practice, and you're doing the bit. Like, look at all these players whose names I've heard.
They got Jalen Duncan still on the line.
By the way, that's
J.C. Latham.
That's also I do notice that sometimes when we're doing like preseason coverage, you're just naming guys. That's all you're doing. Yeah, I really
Kevin Zeitler's there now.
Right.
I mean,
I do love Kevin Zeitler.
Jalen Duncan, Kevin Zeitler.
J.C.
Kevin
Zeitler was amazing because he would always come on the show, and he would always have very little to say. But yet he never said, like the next time we asked, he was never like, I don't know, dude, I don't really feel like doing it.
Got Chig, obviously, tight end.
Always willing to come on. There you go, Titans winning it all, baby. Look at that. But
Jeffrey Simmons is still there. He's
good. He's good.
Yeah.
He's one of their good.
You know what?
Players. You're selling yourself. You're buying in on the Titans.
Kind of in. I don't know outside of Jeffrey Simmons who else they have on the defense, but yeah.
The Quandre Diggs recently signed with the Titans. Why did we do this?
No, he didn't.
He didn't?
No.
Are you sure?
Is he hurt? No, he's not there. I don't see Quandre Diggs.
Or has he
here.
just not been added? I feel like I saw Quandre Diggs'
is it
name
possible it was that
pop
recent?
up this week? I just feel like
Jihad Ward is a.
How about that? Veteran, Quandre Diggs returns the Titans.
Oh, they do have Morgan
Apparently,
Cox.
he's Cam Ward's cousin.
Oh,
I didn't know
so this
that.
is like Trayvon Mullen.
Might be a Trayvon Mullen situation. Where's Trayvon? Never mind. We're not doing this.
I'll let you know
stop it.
2 seconds.
Stop it. God.
I know this is what we need to figure out today.
Oh, we were talking about the fight. That's what we were doing. We were talking about the fight and the whole thing.
Looks like he is a free agent. So I'm sure he'll be back in any second now.
Could be. That could be the case if somebody were to get hurt. Anyway, you can't. You don't want guys fighting. You need to do something about that. Is the point. But that's
not.
Yeah, or just let them, or just say,
or not. Sometimes you got to swing and help it again. All right.
Joint training camp practices, Thunderdome. That's what you'd say to all the people who have complained about how, oh, I don't even recognize football anymore. They've taken out all of the tune in for joint practices.
As long as it's not the quarterback, punch whoever you want.
Right, yeah, punch anybody. In fact, maybe that's a rule. All the players get to punch one fan. Like, everybody that comes out for joint training camp day, like, you got to sign that right.
I know Tripp was trying to get under the skin of these Colts players.
That's true. There you go. That's the rule moving forward. And then the other, like, big football story today is this ESPN thing. So ESPN has sold a 10% stake to the NFL.
Wow.
So ESPN will take over NFL Network and NFL Red Zone. If there's one thing we can count on ESPN for, it's that they're going to deliver just the highest quality programming now as they operate the NFL Network.
Pardon the interruption, still running.
You can count on that. I don't care because I don't watch anything. Like, I hope that it all works out for the people that I like that work there. Like, I hope that they don't wake up tomorrow and find out they're being replaced by Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee on a loop. Like, I hope that's the case. But short of that, I don't care because I don't watch any of these things.
So NFL Network will still, like, will that still be a channel?
NFL Network will still exist,
but
it will just be operated. Like, I'll give you an example. Do you know who operates the Big Ten Network?
Fox, right?
Fox,
yeah.
Correct. Operates the Big Ten Network. So it's the same concept. Okay. ESPN, technically, NBA TV has been operated by Turner for the last few years. It's just been an extension. I don't know what that looks like now with the NBA divorcing from Turner, what that means for NBA. I don't know because I don't care enough to know. But the NFL Network will now be operated by ESPN. And you would presume that, like, as part of this, ESPN would try to say, well, we're not going to change anything about NFL Network. NFL Network's great. And then
they do
check back in 4 months, right? Like, they're almost certainly not going to change a lot for this NFL season. But, after that, let's see. Let's just see how everything works. Now, again, that doesn't impact me. I don't watch the programming. I don't care. There is a lot made about what does now the NFL's ownership stake in ESPN mean for what was already bastardized coverage from ESPN of the NFL. As a lot of people brought up, ESPN really didn't do a lot with the collusion story. Didn't really bother to, like, cover it at all.
Did any big network? Like,
most of NBC, obviously, by virtue of Pro Football Talk, right? And Mike Florio did, but to be fair,
Pablo Torre's pretty much... Is he like he's on his own now? Is that?
I think he just joined somebody. He just joined The Athletic, if I remember correctly. I think The Athletic just picked up the Pablo Torre show. So, yeah, to your point, it wasn't like the other networks were stepping up. It was unique, so you could say, hey, any partnership with the NFL meant, we don't really want to touch this. But presumably if you grow that partnership and now they own 10% of your company, it's not going to get better. I mean, can it get worse? I don't know. But it's sure as hell not going to get better. And it's going to be some combination of state-run media and otherwise bad programming. What does it actually mean? From a tangible perspective, ESPN also announced their $30 a month direct-to-consumer offering. $30 a month. Which is also apparently now going to include they're going to steal the WWE pay-per-views away from Peacock. And ESPN will have those moving forward to throw into this package. I don't know if ESPN Plus will still exist in the option that it exists, where, like, if you just want to watch, Patriot League and America East, like if you just want to watch UMBC basketball and Loyola, can you still get the $10 ESPN Plus? Or do you now have to pay for the $30 everything? I don't know all of those details yet, but that to me is the tangible part of this conversation. Like, I woke up this morning saying, like, can I cancel Peacock? Because I really only had Peacock because I do watch the WWE pay-per-views. So should I cancel Peacock? Well, then will I be able to watch Sunday Night Football? Do I need to go out and buy a antenna for the first time in my life? And the answer is maybe. Like, I might need to get into the antenna business.
And I guess so, like... Yeah, I mean,
but then
are they going to be pushing everyone to get the Hulu TV then? And will that include? That'll just automatically include ESPN and
I don't
Disney
think
Plus, because it already includes Disney Plus.
But I think this is going to be separated from that.
Okay, so this is an alternative to having cable or like YouTube TV or something.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
This is for you don't have any of those things and you want to watch. Like, for example, I have an ESPN Plus subscription, but they are doing more and more the same bit that like Fox is doing. So you couldn't. I wanted to watch the Speedway Classic this weekend on my TV. I wasn't allowed to watch the Speedway Classic through the Fox app.
Right. So then, okay, yeah. So it'd be
it's just all nonsense, and it's very difficult.
Or
the
Fox
point
is going to get to the point
they
where
just want you to have to buy all of these things.
Yeah.
And so I never had an issue with Peacock because my answer was, well, Peacock's a pretty good value for I get all the Sunday Night Football games and I get
The Office.
right, yeah, all those things, and the WWE pay-per-views, and it was a fairly affordable price. If this, I was getting the same thing from ESPN for an affordable price, it'd be worth it for $30. $30 a month.
Get Monday Night Football though.
All due respect. So that becomes part of that. Therein lies the rub.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have the option to still watch Monday Night Football on ESPN Plus, or will the only way to watch Monday Night Football be?
You do. You have to watch it with Peyton and Eli. Though. It's a good program. I don't know what you're moaning about over there.
It's a good program. I mean, that number is awful. $30 is an awful number. Come back in. Nick Cross is going to join us, former Terp, Indianapolis Colts safety. We'll check in with him next. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, the PGA Tour's best are coming to Maryland. The 2025 BMW Championship tees off August 12th through 17th at Caves Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills. See the top 50 players battle it out in the penultimate event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Don't miss your chance to witness world-class golf, fan experiences, and unforgettable moments. Tickets are on sale now at bmwchampionship.com. The BMW Championship, where legends take the lead.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at DriveEasyMD.com.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Want to improve your golf game or learn to play for the first time? The Baltimore Golf Academy has fun, instructional programs for the beginner golfer to everyday players. The Baltimore Golf Academy can take your game to the next level. Enroll today at baltimoregolfacademy.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR. Of course, the Ravens and Colts practicing against each other this week as they get ready for preseason game number 1 tomorrow night in Baltimore. That means an opportunity for us to catch up with one of our favorites, a former Terp, man who has found great success. He is Indianapolis Colts safety Nick Cross, and he is back in the state of Maryland this week, and he's with us on GCR. Nick, it's Glenn. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning.
What's up, guys? Appreciate you for having me.
Absolutely, dude. Everything good with you? It's like life has got to be good at this point, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, just taking everything one day at a time. In training camp with the guys, and just working to get better every single day, prepare for the season, physically, mentally, and go out there and put on a show.
When you are back this way, is it still like you're a few years into your career at this point? Do you still have to deal with like everybody hitting you up from back home and everybody wanting to come to the game, or has that died down a little bit where they're like, all right, we've done that. We're not going to harass you quite as much when you're back in town?
I actually try not to tell too many people I'll be back in town. Of course, tell the fam and everything that I'll be there, but at the end of the day, just try to keep my movement low profile. Because as soon as people find out, I'm back home, it's like, oh, how long you here for? When you have time to do this, you have time to do that. So it's just,
you're like, bro.
If they find out, it's usually after the fact, and then I get the text, man, why did you tell me you was in Maryland? So it's just one of those things.
It's a business trip, man. That's the way these things work. You got a job to do. I completely understand it. Nick, I guess we got to ask, everything good? We got everything squared away after yesterday, or there's still going to be like, guys, are things still going to be chippy tomorrow night on the field?
I think, hopefully everybody got everything out yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Just, emotions are high, tension is high, joint practice, everybody's trying to show their skills, show their abilities, and, it can get chippy and competitive out there, but it's all part of the fun of joint practice and competing to get better.
Can you tell people about that? Because, I think people my age are used to, preseason games being a little bit different, but I think the way that the NFL has changed is, there's a lot more emphasis now on these joint practices. What are these now like for you guys, and how important are they specifically in you guys getting ready for the season?
I think they're very important. At the end of the day, I feel like, as the preseason progresses, you see your starters and stuff not play as much as, in times, especially when I was growing up and whatnot. And, most of the reps that they're getting are in those joint practices against, the other team's starters. And, those joint practices eventually, turn into, game-like situations. So, those practices aren't just practices where, you come out there, go through the motions. You're going out there and competing against a team. And, although we're not tackling to the ground, it gets pretty competitive out there, pretty physical, and it's basically a game-like situation out there.
Do you feel like that when we see things like walk me through, right? You see guys starting to get chippy. You're now a couple years into your career, right? You're a veteran at this point. Do you have to step in and say something, or do you find yourself sort of saying nah, dude, I'm going to let these guys work it out. I'm not going to get involved whatsoever?
I mean, you never want to see your teammates. At the end of the day, you try to, avoid all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, no one's going to sit there and be a pushover. If somebody comes in and gets at one of your teammates, you got to go defend your brothers and go out there and stand up for them, and as well as them stand up for themselves. So, at the end of the day, I've never been one to initiate, and whatnot. But if things do go south, I'm always there to step in and help my teammates and help my brothers out.
You're gonna ride. You're gonna ride, and I appreciate that. Nick Cross is with us here on GCR. Nick, obviously coming off what for you was a really good season a year ago, and starting every game and putting up some great numbers. I know that team success is what you want to have follow, but how good did that feel for you? I don't want to say coming into your own, because we know how talented you are, but I guess maybe how important was it for you to make that declaration of this is who I am, this is what I can be in the NFL?
It's important, what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it gives that confidence to know that, it's not about proving everybody else wrong or, whatever everybody else thinks. It's just, at the end of the day, proving to myself that, I belong in the league. I can play at a high level day in, day out, week in, week out against, the best players in the league. And, I can find myself sitting amongst the best in the NFL. So it was good to see, what I already knew, and just to see it out there and translate out there onto the field, is definitely good. And I know that the team success will follow for sure.
Can I ask, because we've heard a lot of stories about guys that have been, we obviously knew Joe Flacco really well here in Baltimore for years. And we've heard a lot of stories over the years of guys meeting him and being like, holy crap, you're Joe Flacco. Did you have a moment like that at all as someone who grew up in this area? Did you, when he was there last year, did you like go over and say anything to him? Like, dude, like did you have any of that going on?
I mean, yeah, man, I always, I used to always tell Jokey, like, yo, like, I was watching you when I was in middle school, middle school, elementary school, Joe was, I don't know, 36, 30, Jokey my dad, to be honest, like, so it's just crazy to have somebody like that on our team, someone who, I've watched with us, the Mile High Miracle, and them winning Super Bowl and against the 49ers, to see him in the flesh in our locker room, it's like, man, like, you've been through, you can sit there and tell stories upon stories about what you've been through in the NFL, and it would be nothing short of amazing. So it's definitely surreal to have that moment of practicing against him and being in the locker room. Real cool guy, hasn't lost a step, hasn't skipped a beat. So it's great to have him in the locker room last year.
That's cool, man. That's a really cool experience. Obviously now. Everybody's, the word is like a quarterback competition. What's the role for a defense when you're trying to get both Anthony, Daniel Jones? You're trying to prepare yourself for the opponents that you're going to face, but you're also trying to prepare your quarterbacks. What's that like for a defense going through a camp like this, where you have two quarterbacks that are trying to win a job?
It's good. At the end of the day, both of them have, unique skill sets. Both of them are very good competitors and people that, you have to prepare differently for. So, getting different looks at different quarterbacks, kind of how it's going to be during the season. And one week you'll play a quarterback with a certain skill set, the next week another one. So, it's just one of those things where, it gives us real time. We have to adjust to different quarterbacks, adjust to what they do and what their strong suits are, and go out there and still execute.
I got to ask you about, did you see the story that Mike Locksley told at Media Days about the troubles that he had in the locker room last year with like guys getting different money from NIL and what that created? And he said he was moving his desk into the locker room this year to try to deal with that. Locks, who's like the ultimate players guy. Can you imagine a scenario where he's struggling with the locker room? And do you feel like, knowing him, he's going to be able to get that fixed pretty quickly?
Yeah, I know Locks. He's gonna get what he needs to get fixed. Nothing ever goes wrong for too long with Coach Locks there. He knows how to identify the people who need to be, weeded out, and he does what he needs to do. When it comes to moving his desk into the locker room, I don't think that would be the most pleasant thing for him to do. But I think that either way, he's going to find a way to turn it around and make sure that, he has the right guys in there, guys who are worried about winning and not just worried about money.
It's funny because you kind of like were right at the edge of when NIL was coming in, right? Like you were right in that moment. Are you surprised that like it would be an issue there? Can you understand, hey man, that's a real thing that you got to deal with? It's a little bit different than like when you showed up in college.
Oh, yeah, I mean, anytime money's involved, anything, things get different. People start acting differently. And, for kids, 17 to 22, getting that type of money that talking about, it's like, that's a lot of money, even to me, like, you can tell me you give me an extra $300,000, $400,000. I'm like, where do I sign up at? So, at the end of the day, for kids who, who might not have came from a lot, or even kids who came from something, having their own money that, they can make and use, definitely, I'm glad myself that I didn't grow up in that because, at the end of the day, I think sometimes it can take the focus off, what the main goal is, just winning football games, getting to the NFL, but, guys getting, hundreds of thousands of dollars now, it's like, it's definitely different, definitely a big added component when it comes to trying to keep guys locked in and focused on winning football games.
There's a weird thing this year. Maryland's not playing either Penn State or Ohio State. If that had been the case for you, would you have been excited about that? Because like, oh man, look at how much easier the schedule is, or would you have said, nah, dude, I want those challenges. Like we saw how you guys played in some of those games.
Yeah, man. At the end of the day, you always want to play the best. You always want to compete against the best. My first interception came against Penn State, and, it was one of those things where, again, you prove to yourself that you can stand up and play against the best of the best, not just play, but play at a high level and compete with those guys. it gives you that confidence going, through college and moving to the next level. Like, you're one of those guys who can, play at a high level no matter where you're at. So, I always enjoyed playing those big games, going over there to whether it's to Columbus or Happy Valley and going out there and competing, being able to go out there and compete at a high level.
There's some intense ones and some that were classics in that process. All right, Nick, I did want to ask you, because this is the first time I've had a chance to talk to somebody. We learned yesterday that the NFL is banning smelling salts, right? Like, I don't know if that was something that you even partook in. What was your reaction when you got that word yesterday?
I mean, I wasn't never one to use those a lot anyways, but, I know guys use them just to, give them lock
like
back
jolt.
in and stay focused, give them that jolt. But, at the end of the day, the NFL they're going to do what they're going to do, and guys have to adjust and continue to do what they need to do to play at a high level. And obviously, it's going to be adjustment for some guys, but, myself, I try to come out there locked in and quote-unquote jolted up anyway, so I'm good.
You bring your own jolt to the game. All right, so what is it? I've never asked you this before. What is it that you do? How do you hype yourself up for when you're getting out on the field?
Just, at the end of the day, I just make sure to know that, I'm going out there and playing the game, that I've always wanted to. At the end of the day, it's Sunday. I remember the day I used to sit on the couch and watch Sunday and watch games for hours. So being a part of it, that hypes me up enough. And then, of course, just being able to go out there and play against a high-quality opponent, go out there and make plays and do what you love, that's all the motivation enough for it. So, yeah.
I love that, man. I love it. I don't know how much you had to pay to get just Nick Cross as an Instagram handle. I don't know how you were able to pull that off in order to make it happen. But give everybody.
Nah, shout out my agents, Dan and Samantha. They told me, they was just like, what you want? I said, I was like, that's it. Yeah. That's it. So, they got it done, and now it's just Nick Cross.
That is a miracle, man. Shout out. I know Dan Saffron and Sam Sankovic. Well done pulling that off. That is incredible. Anything that we can plug for you? I know you've been doing a lot of charity stuff out in Indianapolis. I saw you were doing at the holidays. Anything we can plug for you, Nick?
Not right now. I mean, at the end of the day, once we get close to the holidays, I'll figure out what I'm going to do. I've always said I was going to do a football camp at some point. Every year I say I'm going to do one. Haven't come to fruition yet, but for sure next year I'll make sure to try to get one done in the area. So that'll be that. But, we'll see what happens when it comes closer to those times.
Hey, Nick, happy for you, man, and all the success that you're finding. The nice part about this being preseason is we don't have to tell you that we're rooting against you, because we don't care what happens tomorrow night. Continue health and success, brother. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning. We really appreciate you.
Appreciate you having me.
That's Nick Cross of the Indianapolis Colts with us here on GCR. Former Terp. Appreciate him doing that. I did have the thought that maybe I've never done smelling salts before. And there was a lot of hubbub about this yesterday. George Kittle was, in particular, very angry about this. I
think it's ridiculous.
I don't know, because then I was reading about, are there I think the big concern is that you can try to use smelling salts to mask a concussion.
Okay. I mean, that's the only argument.
That someone who's concussed, that maybe didn't show signs on the field, becomes the sideline. You can try to jolt them up. And so I can certainly understand that being an issue. But the sense that I got from the players that we're talking about is dude, this wasn't about concussions for us. This was just about getting a rush. We just wanted to, get fired up as we're going out onto the field. So I did have the thought that maybe you should try to find some smelling salts so we can understand.
Well, I wasn't I was religious about it, but we would use them.
Would you?
During dodgeball? Yeah.
Oh, no S.
Yeah, it was awesome. We, when you're starting the game, you're trying to get loose, and then we just pass the salts.
I'm starting to wonder if we should do it when the show's when the show's dragging a little bit.
We go
woo. See, that's the sense that
I enjoyed it.
That's the sense that I got. I was never.
They're strong. They're strong.
During my terrible athletic career, I never had any access to smelling salts. So I've never done it. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what the feeling is.
I remember because it was
where'd you get them from? Can you find some?
I think they were we had the little salt packets before COVID, and then I don't know, one of the guys who kept getting those I think graduated.
Okay.
And so because that was the thing, it was we almost didn't play for almost 2 years because of COVID. And so like our first game after COVID, we were one of the other guys was like, wait a minute, we need salts. And I was like, then you get like the ammonium. It's like an ammonium like little can that you can just order on Amazon. Yeah.
Oh, is that the same?
Yeah. Well, it's not. I don't think it was quite as strong as the salts.
Can
but
you
they
track
were
down
just
smelling salts for us?
Probably. Yeah.
And then what we do is,
but that was like before our first game back.
What you do is
we had to make sure
when you think the show's hitting a rut, we say, all right, let's hit the smelling salts. I've just never done it. I don't know what the feeling's like. I don't know what the rush is. I'd be willing to try. Like, hey man, it's clear you didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Right.
It's impacting the show. You're not delivering the performance that we need. Come on. It's time. Woo!
Can we get them at CVS? That can't be right, is it?
Are they the same thing?
Like exactly. I don't know if it'd be like the strongest.
We'll find out. I'm putting you in charge of that department. Let's grab a break. When we come back in, Mike Lombardi will join us. That's next. It's Glenn Clark Radio. Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafilos family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the first ever Baltimore basketball player to reach the Naismith Hall of Fame as we talk to those who knew Carmelo Anthony best about how his Baltimore upbringing shaped his legendary career. Also inside, Bo Smolka profiles Ravens second-round pick Mike Green, and find our annual summer travel section with information on some of the best sporting events and activities in Maryland that your family can check out all summer long. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
Winding down hour number one of the program. Tickets are on sale for the 2025 Maryland 5-Star back at Fair Hill in Cecil County this October. The Triple Crown of Equestrian. It's one of the biggest equestrian events in the world. That's not hyperbole. It's truly one of the most significant. That's why it's called the 5-Star. But it's not just that. It's just a celebration of fall in the state of Maryland, the Food and Wine Festival, the Corgi Cup, the ponies, the shopping. It's just an awesome weekend to celebrate fall in Maryland. And if you've never checked out equestrian, I will tell you that before I went the first time, I knew next to nothing about it, which bothered my wife a great deal because she's involved. But I checked it out. I saw it up close in person, it's an amazing sport. Saturday's race day, that's a great day to be there. Sunday, no Ravens game this year, so a chance for you to get up and see a champion crowned at the Maryland 5-Star while taking it all in. The 5th edition of the Maryland 5-Star at Fairhill in Timonium, happening this October. Get to maryland5star.us with the number 5, maryland5star.us, in order to get your tickets for the Maryland 5-Star. We are giving away today. This is a little bit different. I'm still in the process of getting them up on Twitter, but we got the scenarios up on Facebook already. Today, for Would You Rather Wednesday, we are giving away a pair of grounds passes for any day of the BMW Championship next week at Caves Valley as part of the PGA Tour playoffs. You'll be able to just pick your day. You'll get the passes. They're good any day. So you can only go out Thursday, go out Thursday. You want to be there Sunday to see if there's I think last time it was Bryson DeChambeau and Patrick Cantlay who are engaged in a mano-a-mano battle on Sunday. Whatever day you want to be there, you can use those passes that day. But the only way to win them is to participate. Respond to at least one, if not all, of the Would You Rather Wednesday scenarios. And someone who does that, everybody will be registered. We'll put all the names in a hopper. Griffin will pick one at random. Someone will win a pair of passes for any day of the BMW Championship. Again, they are posted right now. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. You'll be able to check them out at YouTube momentarily. Not YouTube, at Twitter momentarily at Glenn Clark Radio.
YouTube.
I don't know how we would do that. We just make another YouTube video
or just
that
post them
adjusts
in the
question?
comments, or
You
or
could-
yeah,
you wanna
put it
try
in
that?
the.
That's fine. I don't care what you do.
All right, never
I
mind.
never know what you're doing back there. But yes, that's what we're doing for Would You Rather Wednesday. Very unique, just for this week. We're going to be doing that now. But wait, there's more.
Really?
We also have a pair of Orioles tickets to give away. Probably should have led with this. I probably should have mentioned this at the start of the show. We also have a pair of Orioles tickets to give away. Today, actually, we'll make it through the next week. We have tickets to give away to see the Orioles next Thursday night. The way that we're going to be giving them away is we're going to openly ask you. Sorry, it's not at night. It's a 1 o'clock game. My apologies. Next Thursday afternoon, Orioles host the Mariners. We're asking you to follow us on TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Perhaps you're already following us on TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. If you are, good news, you're already registered to win. Well, that's not true. You're already qualified to win. In order to register to win, what we need you to do is take a screen cap that shows that you're following Glenn Clark Radio on TikTok and send it to us at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter. Griffin, what's your email address, or what's the do we have a press box?
Producer at PressBoxOnline.com.
Producer at PressBoxOnline.com. That's, in fact, I'd rather you do that because it won't get lost. Take a screen cap that shows that you follow us on TikTok and email that screen cap to producer at PressBoxOnline.com. If you do, congratulations, you're registered. Someone who proves that they're following us on TikTok will win a pair of tickets to see the Orioles play the Mariners next Thursday afternoon, 1:05. So we'll run that until this time next Wednesday is when we'll pick a winner. So a 1-week-long contest for a pair of Orioles tickets. All you got to do is follow us on TikTok. That's it. If you're not, start following us now. If you are, just prove that you are. Take a picture, screen cap it, send it to producer at PressBoxOnline.com. One person who does will win a pair of tickets for next Thursday's game. It's just that simple. Cool? Capiche? Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, we enter into an awkward moment where the question is, Do we wait it out, or do we rearrange our plans for the morning? It's a tough one, isn't it, Griffin? So, for those of you that are playing at home, we are scheduled right now to be joined by Mike Lombardi, who's been doing a media tour this week. So I don't know why, if it's personal, it would seem odd. But he's been doing lots of these. He's supposed to be joining us at 11 o'clock. Here we are. It's 11:05, and there's no Mike Lombardi. Well, later on in the show, we're going to be chatting with Gerry DiNardo. This is the crazy part. Gerry could actually move. He was explaining to us.
Yeah, he said, I'll do whatever you want.
No problem. He can move to any time during the course of the show. Correct. He's down to do it.
I'm ready.
But uniquely, if we're going to do that, we've got to do it by 11:10. It's strange how that works. If we're going to do it, we got to do it by 11:10. So now this is where Griffin has to put his producer hat on, right? Because he's got to make the call. He's got to tell me one way or the other. Are we going to talk to Gerry DiNardo, or are we going to talk to Mike Lombardi? And I don't know. It could be anything.
John Keller says he thinks the Terps are going to go 7-5 this year.
I mean, the schedule presents the opportunity for that. Although, let's not pretend like Illinois is on the schedule, Michigan's on the schedule. Indy, it's not like the schedule. The two on paper, the teams that are ranked number 2, the preseason poll is out. The AP preseason poll came out this week. Ohio State number 2, Penn State number 3 in the preseason poll. So by avoiding those two teams, you on paper say, well, you've got an easier schedule. The problem is, this is just the nature of the business now. When you're the low man on the totem pole, everybody is above you.
Their win total is, do you want this now? Or
you tell me.
It's 4.5.
It's 4.5.
Yeah.
Well, if they handle their business at home in their 3 non-conference games,
then they just need
two Big Ten. They just need to find 2 Big Ten wins somewhere. But that's not this is the problem for Maryland. Nothing is a certainty. And as much as we say hey, it's good to avoid Ohio State, Penn State, you still play Michigan, who I assume after the way they closed last season, and maybe with a bit more stability, and they're probably ready for an uptick. You still play Indiana, who's obviously coming off an outstanding season. You still play at Illinois, who I know everybody is very excited about. But, yes, you avoid – I mean, I guess we had to add to that because they don't play Oregon this year like they played a year ago. So the 3, on paper, best teams in the Big Ten are not on your schedule this year. So the schedule should benefit you. But the first question is, do you have a quarterback? It feels like maybe we should talk to Gerry DiNardo about
I think that
you're starting to think that we should talk to Gerry DiNardo.
Yeah, Gerry said he's good to go.
All right, well, let's do this then. Because maybe I'm not the right person to discuss this topic, but I do know who is. Griffin, why don't we talk to Gerry DiNardo about it right here on GCR? Well, our next guest was in College Park earlier this week as part of the Big Ten Network's annual preseason tour, checking out the Terps. He, of course, a man you see on BTN regularly, and you know him as the former head coach at Indiana and Vanderbilt and LSU. He's Coach Gerry DiNardo, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Coach, it's Glenn. It's always great to chat. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes for us.
Glad to be with you, Glenn. Thank you.
Coach, it's an interesting time, right? Because Maryland puts together 3 straight solid seasons, winning seasons, bowl wins, and you start to believe they're turning the corner, and then they go through a disappointing year a year ago. And I wonder if you felt like did you sense that there is an amount of pressure or, I don't know, immediacy, like something that they are feeling down there, despite the fact that this is a really young team that they're going to be putting on the field?
You know, Glenn, it's a great question because I have this theory. When you look at the last few years with Maryland football, if you look at 2022 and 2023, they won 8 games. They won 2 bowl games. Then when you go to – I'm sorry, that was 21 and 22. When you go to 23, okay, they start off 5-0, right? And the conversation is Maryland ready to challenge the best teams in the conference? They lose their next 4 games, and they wind up not beating any of those teams. They come back last year, and they win 1 conference game. And my point is this. They got distracted in 2023 when everyone started saying they're going to challenge the best teams. That's the worst thing you want your team to hear. And now they're trying to dig out of that hole. And so I don't think this is an X and O year. I don't think this is a scheme year. I don't think this is anything but getting this team to play as hard as they've ever played, to win the 3 non-conference games they open up with, and to beat the matchup opponents and not worry about beating the best teams in the conference and getting distracted like they did a few years ago.
It's interesting. I obviously, there'd be people around here that would say, boy, that doesn't sound like that's a heck of a goal, but I think that's the reality for Maryland football, right? And it's something I talk about all the time, Jerry, which is I think we're living in a pipe dream thinking that Maryland is going to compete with the top teams in the Big Ten. The sport is just not built that way. You want them to be competitive, and I think that should continue to be the goal moving forward.
Yeah, and to support your point is in 1972 when Title IX was passed and the scholarships started getting cut for football so that our daughters could have the same opportunities as our sons had. When that started happening, it was the end of college football. We were losing all our scholarships, and we went from unlimited to 105. Then we went 105 to 95. Then we went to 105 to 85. And every time there's been a seismic change in college football, everyone thinks about all the negative and that it's not going to work. And yet, the haves are the haves, and the have-nots are the have-nots. And it's a have-not business. An Indiana can come along like they did last year. I'm not saying that can't happen. But you could pay them, not pay them. You could do NIL, not do NIL. I've never been, and I've been involved with college football since 1971 in one way or another. I've never seen a rule change or anything else change that makes a have-not, and a have-not a have. Now, that can happen temporarily, but it won't last very long because the haves will not have it.
So at the center of this team, and I know you guys dove into it on Monday night, is the quarterback decision. And it's such a complicated conversation, Coach, because a lot of it's about what quarterback gives you the best chance to win, but I would assume that in this era, the other parts of the conversation matter a whole lot too. And, wanting to make sure that you can keep a quarterback around that's as talented as Malik Washington has to come into play. And how do you make a decision like this in 2025 in this culture of college football if you're Mike Locksley?
Well, I don't think it's changed. I think it's pretty simple. Whoever wins the job in camp, we can't start coaching worrying about the portal and worrying about players leaving. Again, I go back to the haves and the have-nots. We just do whatever we can. The best thing for Malik or whoever starts a quarterback at Maryland is the run game on offense and being better on defense. I mean, the quarterback's the most important position, maybe the most important position of all sports. But you can't throw someone in there that's not ready and then expect them to win a game that you wouldn't have won if there wasn't someone else at quarterback. Play the matchup opponents. Beat the non-conference schools. I think that's where the focus has to be. They just have to rebound from the last year. And the last year, nobody liked it. Locke talked about he lost the locker room and he put his desk in the locker room. He's doing all the right things, saying all the right things. He's just got to make them come true.
If it is, and we're chatting with Gerry DiNardo here on GCR, if you believe that Malik Washington right now gives you the best chance to win, right, do you feel like a true freshman quarterback, even someone this talented, can be ready to handle the enormity of what we're talking about? Like that you're playing essentially man down when you're Maryland football. And do you feel like this young man, as impressive as he is, and I've had the chance to get to know him for the last few years, he is a remarkable young man. But can a true freshman quarterback handle the enormity of all of that he'd be dealing with?
I believe a true freshman quarterback. Now, Malik, was limited yesterday, a couple days ago. Everyone knows that. So we didn't get to see him at full strength. Glenn, it depends who they're playing. Do I expect him to be good enough to beat the 3 non-cons that they start with? I don't have the schedule in front of me, but obviously I know what it is.
Of the world, right? Yes, I get it.
Right. Yeah. So I expect
Florida
him
Atlantic,
to do that.
Northern Illinois. Yeah.
Okay, now keep going, and who else in the conference now can they match up with? Yeah, you win the non-con and you win the matchups in the conference. So do I think he can do that? I mean, again, I didn't see him a lot 2 days ago, but yes, I think any quarterback could do it. If they don't have a run game, no, he can't do it. If they can't stop any run defense, no, they can't do it.
Well,
but if they support him with the other 21 players, yeah, I think he can do it.
Well, and as you know, obviously one of the biggest issues Maryland had is like keeping quarterbacks upright over the years. Is they just don't have the same type of O-lineman as they have at some of those schools in the Midwest. Gerry, I go back to something you said because I know it needs to be the case that you make the decision based on who gives you the best chance to win. Is it that simple in 20? Like, do you have the luxury as a coach of making that call, or like can you ignore all of those other factors? I know Mike alluded to some of those ahead of the season and the struggles that he was having with who was getting paid and who wasn't getting paid. But like, can you just block all of that out and not think about it when you do this?
You know, I think you can. I think you have to. I don't think you have a choice. You know, you're going. You know, this is Locke's 7th year. I mean, he has proven that this program can be better than it was last year. I think that's what he has to prove. He doesn't. You know, I'm not saying he has to have a great record. I'm not saying he has to upset some big teams. He just has to get back to where it was before this crazy narrative that they were ready to challenge for the Big Ten championship. Yeah. And to me, that's the root of what happened. That became the narrative instead of the next game becoming the narrative. That became the narrative instead of beating a conference team that you have better players than. So it changed the narrative, and you know, I think it's doable. I think it has to be.
To your point, there's a weird thing about this year, which is that when you look at the schedule, it's not quite as daunting as certainly, you know, back when we were doing the division thing in the Big Ten. There's no Ohio State on the schedule this year. There's no Penn State on the schedule this year. When you allude to the idea of like, hey, go beat these teams, is there a world where maybe you do that and you could build up a little bit of momentum going into that portion of the schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not trying to say that Maryland can't beat those best teams in the conference and all that. I'm just saying it's got to be one step at a time. It's got to be. People will continue to support you if you're beating the teams that you should beat. You know, from firsthand experience, when you lose to a team as a coach that you have better talented than, I mean, that's on you. I mean, there's no greater pressure than a coach losing to a team who has less talent. So that's where it starts for me with the team that's on the rebound.
Right.
And Locks has done that. Locks has done that until last year. And then we start talking about, you know, competing in the Eastern Division. You know, I didn't think that was smart. I'm not saying them. I'm saying everyone following Maryland. I got tired of guys on BTN desk talking about that. I kept saying, you don't just all of a sudden challenge the big teams. The best teams. They've been doing this for 100 years. It's going to take a little bit more time than being 5-0.
What do you say to people that, you know, and you know this exists, right? Like that eternally, you know, if you're not doing those things, then it doesn't matter what you're doing. And that would bring up some of the negatives. I think you know from our conversations, I love Mike Locksley. I think Mike Locksley is doing literally as good of a job as can be done at Maryland football because based on my relationship with Ralph Regan, I know exactly how difficult the job is at the University of Maryland. It is an impossible job, but there will be always people that will point out, right, but he's 33-41 as the head coach at Maryland. Like, how do you describe to people what you think of the job that Mike Locksley has done here overall?
Well, I mean, I think he's done a terrific job. I mean, I think that his best coaching is not behind him, and his best coaching better be this year because I think it's fair. I think that's a fair expectation. And if he has the best year, he's revamped his staff. One of the issues is he only had 103 at camp. He's allowed to have 120. Okay, but he couldn't have 120 because some of the things that the administration had said to him, and so it was a miscalculation on both sides of it. So he wasn't even 3 deep in the offensive line 2 days ago, and There's a lot of things that he can't say that are out there. It's a very difficult job. I'll say this though, it's not as difficult a job as it was when it was East and West.
Sure.
So that's a plus.
Yeah, obviously, two of the top 3 teams in the country. You get them off the schedule. That's going to be a good thing. There's just no way around that. I'll follow that up. We referenced how young of a team it is. Like, that's the one thing that you could say, that there is constantly NFL talent coming out of Maryland, and this past year was no different. And this is a young team that lost a lot of pieces. Obviously, their 2 top wide receivers. Is there any world in which, like, maybe after the year they had last year, that's a good thing for Maryland, that they have so many, like, that taste maybe doesn't exist for a lot of these guys? It's almost like you can kind of start over again.
Well, if you're not motivated to start over after winning one conference game a year ago, I don't know what would motivate a team. And again, you and I are both great fans of Locke, and I think he's doing all the right things. There's been a lot said about this. He has a sign outside his locker room, leave your jewelry and your money, but
Right.
So I'll move my desk in the locker room if I have to. I mean, he can't be doing anything more than he's doing, and the players have to realize that. And what player on the team wants to start a season where we won one conference game the previous year who's not highly motivated? I don't care what year you are. If you're on that team and you're coming off a 1-win season in the conference, it's not about X's and O's and scheme this year. It's about attitude. It's about toughness. It's about being together. It's about not arguing about NIL and the money issues that we're all adjusting to. They got to put it behind them and move on.
I hear you, Coach. I completely get it. Coach, as far as the league's concerned, we bring up Ohio State, Penn State, Maryland, who won't see this year. I feel like the team that, to me, is the biggest wild card is Michigan, right? We saw what they did at the end of the year last year. They beat Ohio State. They beat Alabama. The defense was still very much real. We've gotten to know Derek Moore really well over the last few years, Baltimore kid who's come into his own. Are they able to get back to what you would expect from Michigan this year? Can that offense be more productive, and are they a bigger factor than maybe we realized going into the season?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on top of the head. I mean, Sharon has to be loving this. I said this during media days. I mean, this is insane. We're talking about a conference that has 18 teams, 2 historic powers, Michigan and USC. We're not talking about them being in a 12-team playoff. Right. Now, that's crazy, right? I mean, those 2 brand names, and we go to media days, and we're not talking about them competing for the Big Ten championship and the conference championship. So if there was ever a time when Sharon can work under the radar, it seems like this year. And so my guess is this might be the most fun he's ever going to have in coaching, because if they have a bad year, he'll be under a lot of pressure. If they have an average year, he'll be okay. But if they have a great year, he'll take great satisfaction in being under the radar and doing a great job coaching. I think Michigan is a fabulous watch this year.
And then I guess the one other, I kind of dismissed Ohio State, but do they have a quarterback? Is there definitely a quarterback on that roster that they're ready to go try to back up and win another national title this year?
There always should be a quarterback.
It's Ohio State. I do understand. Right.
We haven't been there yet. I think Ryan's very pleased with his quarterback position. The interesting thing is, we talked about in media days with Ryan about last year. He doesn't want to continue to play with the one and done quarterback. He said, it was great and it worked out. Will Howard won a national championship, but they want to continue to recruit high school guys. They want to continue to bring guys up through the ranks of quarterback, and it looks like they have 3 of them that are talented enough to do that. But I think there'll always be a good enough quarterback, especially now with the portal. There'll always be a good enough quarterback at Ohio State.
To your point, they might have 4. I do get it. And then lastly, because I know you were at Penn State last night, are they ready to, I feel like it's the thing that everybody's been asking James Franklin for years, right? They expand the playoff. They finally get in. They seem to be on the doorstep. Are they ready to, with Drew Aller, another year, make that ascent to compete for a national title this year?
James has got a great answer to that, right? He says that compete for it every year, which is true. The counter to that argument is you've never been this close at this time of year since you've been here because you have a veteran roster, you've got a returning quarterback, the coaching staff is, just as good as it can be. They've got all the support, and they have a 12-team playoff. We did a study at the network. No team would have benefited since James was at Penn State. And I might be a little bit off on this, but the statistic is that no team would have made the playoffs more than Penn State had there been a 12-team playoff since James got here. And so the other advantage I think they have, and this is really interesting, we heard this from the coaches. Nobody's really talking about this. When you ask a coach that was in the playoffs, how could you make the playoffs better? You know what they say? They say, in bowl games, you get gifts, and they do a lot for the players and this and that. He said in these playoffs, it's just like another game. So they would like to see more things go to the players, and I bring that up because the other thing that Penn State has that they haven't had in the past to win the national championship, they were in the national championship, right? They were an interception away maybe from winning it against Notre Dame. And that experience where the kids aren't thinking this is a bowl game, it's a business trip, so on and so forth. That's a valuable experience. And a veteran team like Penn State, when you give them a valuable experience, it makes the team even better. And I think they have all the things they need to win a national championship. To James's point, not that they haven't in the past, it just looks a lot better today than it did in previous years.
Tonight's show is at Rutgers, correct?
No. Tonight's show is at. Oh yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, it is.
No
Okay.
worries.
I'm a little road weary.
No worries, Gerry. We totally understand, and we had some confusion in there. The magic of radio. Make sure you're checking that out, and it continues every night on the Big Ten Network for the next couple of weeks as we get ready for the start of football season. Gerry DiNardo, always appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for spending a couple of minutes with us. Looking forward to do this again as we get into the season. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I appreciate being with you.
That's Gerry DiNardo from Big Ten Network. Had to do that a little bit earlier here on GCR. Appreciate him taking the time after his trip to College Park. A couple of things. So I don't know what.
What? No. I was going to say, I guess I should have ran out and bought some smelling salts
right?
while we were doing that.
Yeah, I could have had a moment there.
The smart thing to do.
And what are you doing over there? I didn't catch this at all.
What did we miss?
Yesterday. I just utterly missed the part where Tony Mansolino apparently said that Heston Kjerstad was dealing with fatigue and is headed to the injured list because of it. Quote, I'm not ready to share yet, but we will talk it all over and we'll figure out what to share with you guys, but nothing yet, unquote. Boy, the quote is so much worse than just saying he's going on the IL with fatigue. Because it just makes everybody say, like, what? Like, what is going on? And there's been no, to my knowledge, like, follow-up reporting about it. I don't think he addressed it today.
Apparently it looks like he may have.
Did he?
From Jake Rill, Mansolino, when asked about Kjerstad again today, just nothing to share on Kjerstad yet. I think I said that yesterday. We don't really have anything to share on him quite yet. Later in the week, once we kind of talk through it, but just nothing we want to share. So more or less exactly what he said yesterday.
Boy, that is awfully odd, right? Like that is just the wording of it. Like makes you like your mind starts to wander to what could it be. It starts to wander to, is he contemplating retirement? Is it dealing with complications from myocarditis? Is it? You just hate that that's the way that he said it, because again, if he just said putting him on the IL, dealing with some fatigue issues, then we all probably say, well, that's not great. Like, you don't want that, but you get it. I had gotten into a conversation with someone last week about how I thought there was time now, if Colton Cowser was going to be playing in center field, to take one more look at Heston Kjerstad, almost in an or get off the pot type of way, before presumably you call up Dylan Beavers in September. Now, maybe their timeline for calling up Dylan Beavers is closer than that. I think a lot of people are working under the assumption that somewhere in mid to late August is the timeline by which you can bring up guys and still have them qualify as rookies next year. So maybe it wasn't going to be that long. But my thought was this gives you some runway to get an extended look at Heston Kjerstad again. I had brought up Ryan Mountcastle. We thought I don't know what's going on there because we thought Ryan Mountcastle was going to be
back for this series.
Yeah. And
they're like, but he's got a 6-game hit streak in Norfolk,
so we just
why mess with that?
Got to keep it going down there. So clearly that's not a priority for them to look at Ryan Mountcastle again. And does make you wonder about, are they considering a DFA? I can't believe that they would be considering a DFA, but you think about it a little bit. Like, why wouldn't he be here? And again, part of the complication of all of this is you have to give at-bats to Dylan Carlson because you're not willing to play Colton Cowser in left field, and if you're not, in center field. So if you don't have a corner outfield spot available, one of the things that I was working under the assumption of was that you're going to have a corner outfield spot available for one of these guys, but they haven't done that.
Because also apparently Tyler O'Neill is getting imaging done on his wrist today. So, but I'm sure he'll be back. Friday, right?
Well, he said last night that the X-rays were negative, right?
Yeah, I guess yes.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, this is a weird thing because none of it actually matters. Like, you recognize that? Oh, they're going to play Jeremiah Jackson in right field again today?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know, dog. This is one of those weird things where none of these things individually can really get you all that worked up. Aren't we supposed to be calling?
Yes. Yeah. I was trying to see if I could get a more concrete update on Tyler O'Neill. But
none of these things individually are supposed to get you all that can get you all that worked up because, like, again, the games don't really matter. The team doesn't really matter right now, but it all just kind of adds and piles on. It's just this totality thing that you're dealing with where you're like, really? On top of this, on top of that, like, really? One more thing on top of all of that? Very, very frustrating. You won't be frustrated if you're hanging out at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Of course, as we always tell you, the best place to watch all of the UFC fights and big boxing matches is Inside Sports and Social. Why pay pay-per-view prices when you can watch them for free? 100-foot media wall, delicious food, nowhere better. Sports and Social, inside Live Casino and Hotel. All right, Ravens-Colts preseason game number 1 tomorrow night. You can watch it on WBAL TV. You can listen on WBAL or 98 Rock. And, of course, that means you'll be hearing the voice of the Hall of Famer, Ravens Super Bowl 35 champion, the great Rod Woodson, back with us this morning here on GCR. Rod, it's Glenn back in Baltimore. It's great to chat, man. Thank you for taking the time for us, as always, this morning.
No, it's my pleasure. I appreciate it.
Hey, Rod, before I get into the Ravens, because I'm a dumb guy, right? Like, I'm an idiot. When I see yesterday the NFL is banning smelling salts, right? To you, is that a good thing? Like, hey, the guys probably are masking concussions. Or are you as confused by that as some of the players seem to be about this decision from the NFL?
I mean, I really don't know how that masks concussions. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I mean, it kind of gives you like kind of a wake up call. You know, if you're smelling, if people like to drink coffee, right? I'm not. That is a little surprising. Is it an overreaction? Well, I think it's an overreaction if they wouldn't have been sued 2 times from the NFL players in the previous years.
That's fair. That is fair. Did you use smelling salts, Rod?
No.
No. Okay. All right.
Those things. They were a little bit too much for me.
So I get the sense, I'm talking to some of these guys, that it's just, dude, all we do is just to give us that little jolt, right? Like we're getting amped up to go back out on the field. We like the little jolt as we run out there,
But that's okay. It's the same thing for oxygen.
That's fair, right? That's a fair
right,
comparison.
So if you go to the oxygen on the sideline, or if you go to the sideline, you put oxygen on. You're trying to get recovery, right? In a jolt, you're trying to get something back. It's the same thing with the smelling salt. So I mean, I think they would go too far if they eliminated the oxygen on the sideline.
You would like to I mean, you can't do that. Imagine playing a game in Denver and they take away the smelling or the oxygen.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Imagine that. That would be insane. Rod, look, I think everybody knows the big picture story for the Ravens is what it is. Will this finally be the year we can save that? In the meantime, what are the most interesting things for you that you're going to be monitoring through these 3 preseason games and as you get ready for the start of the regular season?
Well, I really want to see offensively, seeing what depth at the offensive line that there's going to be and what it looks like. The depth at the cornerback position. And the depth at the safety position, and trying to find which player is going to come out and have a breakout year to match up with Roquan Smith in the middle of the field. I think to me those are the main issues we have. This team is so solid across the board.
No doubt.
And so I think the biggest thing that can hurt them would be the depth at different positions as the season starts, because as you know, obviously playing 17 games is physical, it's long, guys are going to get hurt. So you need guys to be who are the backups that can step in, and you won't have a huge downturn on the way they play. That's the only downside of the Baltimore Ravens. I think they have they're one of the best teams in the National Football League across the board, and they should be able to play at a high level throughout the whole year.
Rod, you bring up, next to Roquan Smith, the Trenton Simpson thing from a year ago. I didn't think necessarily that Trenton Simpson played poorly before he got hurt. It just sort of seemed like things were working, and so why mess with them? But you can tell me otherwise. Where is your confidence level? We see him bulk up a little bit this offseason. Where is your confidence level in Trenton Simpson being able to step in and solidify that spot?
Yeah, I think Trenton Simpson has all the tools to play in the National Football League. I think there's a lot of coaching change this year with the Ravens on that side of the ball. So you're gonna. I believe I think it's kind of like if you take Taekwondo or your martial arts. The players are a reflection of their coaches. And if you in the martial art world, you are a reflection of your Kwanzaa Nim, which is your grandmaster.
Okay.
So it's that same. To me, it's that same thought process. And I think Trenton. I think he does have all the tools. I think now, obviously different coaching staff are not completely different, but several different coaches back there on the defensive side are going to be working through it. But I think he has the tools. I like to, I'm kind of a fan of Buchanan, who, I think he's a natural player. And those are the type of players you kind of like. I'm not saying that he's going to just jump in and start, but, I think Trenton Simpson does have all the tools. I think if you ever talk to him as a human being, he's a great human being also. And those are the type of guys that you love to fight for and see and have those stories years to come.
Obviously, you bring up one rookie in Teddy Buchanan as we're talking with Rod Woodson this morning on GCR. I think another rookie that everybody is interested in is Mike Green. And I don't want to put too much pressure on the young man, Rob, but I start to convince myself that Mike Green might be almost the biggest X factor on this team. Because for as good as the Ravens have been in generating pressure during the course of the regular season, that has been one thing. I know the Steelers game, they were able to get pressure, but in their losses in the playoffs, they've generated almost no, sacks and big defensive plays in the postseason, and it does kind of feel like they've been missing. For as good as Kyle Van Noy's been and as good as Odafe Owe was a year ago, they've been missing that, one true wrecker, like that, the Terrell Suggs type. And I don't know if Mike Green can be that guy, and it's an awful lot to ask in 1 year, but boy, if that talent that made everybody think he was going to go in the first round can translate, it does feel to me like that could be a true on-field difference maker for this team as we move towards the postseason.
Well, I mean, obviously he caused havoc in college, right? Led the country in sacks. He's definitely going to have the opportunity. And I don't think the lack of pressure in the postseason it crushed the Ravens. The turnovers crushed the Ravens.
Sure.
Right. So, I mean, if you're playing well throughout the whole year, you don't turn the ball over. You're one of the best teams who didn't turn the ball over the last several years. But in the postseason, and I think it's the last 4 years, the last 5 years, I think they have minus eight turnovers or -9, something like that. That's the worst in the league, and to me that's the downside. You have all the talent, and you have players who can make plays, but we always say, and it's always been said, that turnovers are going to kill football teams, and you can't generate the turnovers, and that's a part of the pass rush, right? Getting to the quarterback, strip sacks, fumbles. And if the offense is turning the ball over, but defensively you're not getting them, you put your teams in harm's way.
To your point, I did this math recently. So in the 8 playoff games that Lamar Jackson has played in his career, so you take away that one Bengals game when he was hurt, in those 8 games, they've had a -12 turnover differential, right? They've turned the ball over.
Even worse.
Yeah.
Even worse than I thought.
They've turned it over 14 times in those 8 games. They've only generated 2 turnovers. So to me, it's sort of like you're 100% right. You cannot be turning the ball over that much. But it's almost like I kind of like both of those numbers to be different, right? Like you need to definitively turn the ball over less, but it would also be very helpful if you could force a few more in the process.
Yeah, and also, obviously having those edge rushers, I think Owe, he has to have a breakout year if they want to flip the switch and get to the Super Bowl. I think he started last year. I think he had a solid year last year, but you need to see him have like that 12 to 13, 14 sack season consistently for him.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, it would go a long way. It would go an incredibly long way. Rod Woodson is with us on GCR. Rod, to touch on a couple other things that I'm sure will be interesting, I know it's a weird thing because whatever Tyler Loop does in the preseason does not guarantee success in the regular season. Everybody's encouraged because after they released the other kicker, all of a sudden Tyler Loop started banging 50-plus yarders, a 60-yarder at the stadium the other day in practice. What is this feeling like for the rest of a team when you are making a change like this, when you believe you can win a Super Bowl, but you don't know enough about, what is the rest of the group trying to do to encourage him, and how long of a leash do you give a young kicker? They clearly believe in the guy. They drafted him for a reason, but how long do you ride it out if there were to be struggles to start the season?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a bunch of struggles to start the season. He's from Arizona. He's kicked the ball extremely well throughout college. He looks tremendous. He looks very good in practice, right? My only thing I would ask, since he's played in Arizona for his college career, when it gets cold, when it gets windy, then how does he look? And I think that's time down the road that we're going to see. I mean, he was booming the snot out the ball the last couple of days at practice. So I think there will be. Obviously, he's replacing one of the best kickers in NFL history. That's the first thing.
Yep.
Secondly, the Ravens been very solid on special teams. Last year, not as much as they normally are, but I think they give Loop. I think they give him a long leash because I think they see the talent there, and he has been kicking extremely well in practice, and now we've got to see how it works out in the game.
You bring up the offensive line, some of the things you're looking for. I think the belief is that Andrew Voorhees gets to be that guy. I think the point that you bring up, we have so much trust with the Ravens and guards over the years. They just find them, right? They make it work. But I think the question you bring up is is the health part of this? Is the depth there that they can withstand? Those 3 key pieces, Stanley and Roger Rosenstein on either end, and then in the middle, obviously, Tyler Linderbaum. Is the depth there that they can withstand should they lose one of those guys for a few weeks during the course of the season?
No, that's what it is. I think I talked to the Carson Vinson from Alabama A&M. Very interesting young man. I think, he's very athletic. He's got to put on what I call an NFL body instead of a college body. But he will get that done. And I think, like I said, the Ravens are, if you look at teams in the AFC, there's three teams that everybody's thinking about: Kansas City, the Ravens, and Buffalo. And the great thing to say is that they have a solid team across the board, offense, defense, special teams. They have a solid football team. And the only concern that you might have, which I do, and it's a small one, is the depth at offensive line. Yeah. Can they be versatile enough to move these pieces around? Normally they only have 7 to 8 guys active on game day anyway, right? So you on offensive line, so you're just making sure that you have that depth, and that safety. The safety depth is a little concerning, making sure that, and the corner depth is a little concerning because everybody behind, when you look at your top three, Wiggins, Marlon, and Jair Alexander, they're all young guys. I know we got a Uzier in, so that's a little vet that's there and that can help out. But everybody else is young. So, that's a little concerning, but, that's the National Football League. And, in today's game, you play a lot more younger guys than when I came in. When I came in, younger guys didn't play a whole bunch. And now they play quite a bit.
It's so funny because I hear you, describing Jair Alexander as a young guy. And, I know you're right, right? Because he's only 28. But it's crazy to me because it feels like he's been in the league for a decade. And he damn near has been. But yet he's only 28 years old, which is kind of wild. Rod, if I could, because you allude to it with the turnovers, is there anything during the regular season, the eternal question, you get it all the time, I get it all the time, how's it going to be different this year? Why will it be different this year? Is there anything that we can watch for during the season that can help tell the story of whether it will be different in the postseason, or does that just come down to we're going to have to wait it out and see? There's nothing they can do to solve that problem until they get there.
Yeah, injuries.
Yeah, yeah.
If you think about it, last year, Zay Flowers doesn't get hurt. I don't know if anybody can beat the Ravens. The year before, if Mitchell doesn't get hurt, I don't know if they lose again. But he got hurt, and they didn't have that same explosiveness on offense that they had in the previous games. So to me, it's all about injuries. And that's where I say, you're trying to find your depth, and you hope that if somebody does get hurt, especially one of your starters, that the level of play doesn't drop down so dramatically, your opportunity to play at your best when it's really needed in the postseason is there.
Did you, when you were in Canton, did you start rattling anybody's chains about Terrell Suggs and Marshall Yonda? What the heck do we got to do to get those guys?
I don't understand. I kind of get Suggs a little bit. Yonda, if I'm remembering correctly, I think Yonda he was 7-time or 5-time All-Pro, something of that nature, 6-time All-Pro.
Definitely. Hang on, let me pull up.
I can't remember exactly off the top of my head.
Marshall Yonda was a 5-time. It was between first and second team. He was a 7-time All-Pro.
That's my thing. So he played 12 years?
Not even. Oh yeah, he did play 12 years. Wow, you're right. He did play 12 years. Jeez.
12 years?
Yeah.
So 12 years. So over half of his career, he was one of the best players at his position. How is that not a Hall of Famer? So we're putting guys in who went to 5 Pro Bowls. That's 2-time All-Pro. But you don't put a guy who over 60% of his career, 65% of his career, he was the best at his position, one of the best 2 players at his position. That to me is crazy.
I couldn't agree more with you. I know it's probably the guard position that just kind of gets disrespected a little bit.
It's not sexy.
Yep.
It's not a sexy position.
But
So
my God.
we need somebody to really bang the table for him and talk about how great he was as a player. I mean, obviously I don't know him because I didn't play with him, but we need those other guys to talk him up like that. We need the Ravens to talk him up, and whoever is the beat writer who does the voting, they need to talk him up.
I think it's still Scott, if I remember correctly, Scott Garceau. So yeah, we got to work on that, man. We got to make that happen. Rod Woodson, obviously tomorrow night, TV on WBAL, radio on BAL and 98 Rock. Anything else that you got going on that we can plug for you? I was out in Vegas recently. What is that? Is nobody going to Vegas anymore? Like I keep hearing that like it's dead these days.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's dead to what it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, people are still going, and it's somewhat congested, but not like it normally is.
Yeah.
But I mean that's globally,
that's
right?
True.
And that's in the U.S. We're really feeling the pinch in the U.S. And the uncertainty of all the stuff that's going on with our administration. So it's everybody. Why would you want to spend money if you don't know where the money might be later down the road?
That is a fair point. This is what I say to my kids. Or you just won't have any money, and I'm going to spend all of yours. So deal with it.
Right.
Rod, appreciate you, man. Can't wait to see you out there tomorrow night, and look forward to chatting more. Thank you for spending time with us this morning. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
The great Rod Woodson, the Hall of Famer, with us here on GCR as he gets ready for the preseason opener tomorrow night. Appreciate him spending time with us as always. Yeah, I was just reading a story in like the New York Post where I guess in June tourism was down 11% in Vegas from this year from last year. So you know what I was doing? Stimulating the economy. You're welcome for my service.
Well, what would
just
we do
trying to help, baby.
What would we do without
just
you?
Doing my civic duty as an American to step up. It was really interesting, like reading, because then I kind of went down a rabbit. When I was out there, it was a conversation that a lot of people out there were having, was that they are feeling the dip, and they kind of pointed to international tourism as being a big problem because for kind of obvious reasons, a lot of tourists are a little afraid to come to America at the moment. And they said that's very real. Like, they said they could feel it. Everybody that I talked to in the hospitality business out there said they could feel the impact that a dip in international tourism was having on Las Vegas. Now, different stories write about different things, right? Like, I 100% back up that prices are outrageous. Just to do anything, to go to dinner in Las Vegas, like they have tried to create everything in Vegas as a premium event, right? Like the way that we now treat going to they want being in Las Vegas to be a premium event. So it's really hard. And that was kind of the nice part about being the Cirque and being in downtown instead of being on the Strip, was it was a little bit less of that than I felt when we wandered onto the Strip a couple times when I was there. But that, I think, is adding to it. There is definitely people Griffin's age don't treat these things the same way that we did. Like a weekend of, to me, it was such a big deal to spend a weekend drinking and gambling in Vegas, in part because you couldn't gamble anywhere else. Now, you can gamble everywhere.
You can gamble right now.
Correct.
Maryland over 4.5 wins.
That's right. John from Little Rock said, play it. And Griffin's like, hell yeah, I'm all over it. So that's part of it, is that you don't have to go to Vegas for that part of the experience, which doesn't mean the Vegas experience isn't still different. It's, why they have all those headliner performers. And, I was out there a weekend that the Backstreet Boys, Beyonce, and Kelly Clarkson were all literally performing on the exact same night. Could you imagine how that would break our city? Like, it would be broken by something like this.
Well, was Vegas not broken? Or
no,
the traffic wasn't?
Like, everybody was sort of like, this just seems like every other because everybody stays there.
Okay.
Like it's not as much traffic.
You know what it was? Because the one time I went it was like the week before the F1 race.
Mm-hmm.
So it was insane. Like the traffic was ridiculous.
The F1 race, I believe, is the weekend before those Maryland games in Vegas.
Oh, so we're going a week out early.
Well, I was talking to my buddy about that. I'm like, how does that? Like, if people are going out there,
I want to watch Brad Pitt race a car.
Right. I think you're gonna miss that.
What?
What was his character's name? Because my
Sonny,
kid, Sonny, yeah, my kid,
Sonny something.
When we play the name game a lot in my house, and my kids always use whatever Brad Pitt's character name was in F1, and I'm like, who? They're like, from F1. I'm like, wait, what? But
Sonny Hayes.
Sonny Hayes. Sure, Sonny Hayes.
I'm more of a Joshua Pierce guy, actually.
That was
Damson Idris. Yeah.
Yes. But he didn't win.
No, yeah. Well, I mean,
we don't
he's
know.
going to win a lot more races.
Maybe we'll find out.
He's a young hotshot. He's got a bright future.
Team hadn't won a race until literally
Sonny Hayes showed up.
Yeah,
60-year-old Sonny Hayes.
Yeah, they were done. They were out of F1 entirely, and now you're just like, So
the boys were into it. They loved it.
They were so into it.
I loved it.
They were feeling. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. And also part of it, it's so funny. I was talking when I was in Vegas. I met a marketing person from F1, and I was talking to her.
Oh, right.
And then I had to acknowledge I don't watch F1. But I told her, I'm like, hey, saw the movie. Like, that counts for something, right?
You guys are doing great.
Yeah, you guys are killing it. That movie, huh? But I said, like, hey, a lot of people were complaining that, like, the movie wasn't true to, like, the F1.
Yeah, well, because they don't pass each other in F1. I mean, F1 fans, I'm sure. I loved it. Because I don't care about F1.
Not in any way.
So this had me kind of caring.
Like, they could have been racing on motorcycles and called it F1, and I'd be like, all right, yeah, sure. I mean, it means nothing to me.
If they had just done the whole thing, it was like, if the whole thing was just the simulator, I would have been like, this is F1. Yeah, this is what people, this is what the people want.
100%. All right. What was I going to do here? We got to take a break, don't we? We still have one more break to take. All right. Today's show is also brought to you by CountySports.Zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. We're just a couple of weeks away from the start of high school sports season. So make sure you're checking out CountySports.Zone. Again, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. We'll go over Would You Rather Wednesday. I think it got lost in all the other things we were posting this morning, so I might need to retweet it, reshare it. We're trying to give away a pair of tickets to the BMW Championship, ladies and gentlemen.
Fine, I'll take them.
I mean, yeah. Griffin said he'll go. But I'd like you to win them if that interests you. So get in at Glenn Clark Radio, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. We'll go over that tidbit and two-bit to wrap it up. Glenn Clark Radio.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at DriveEasyMD.com.
Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses make golf fun and affordable. All 5 local courses, Pine Ridge, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Clifton Park, are challenging and fun for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time today at classic5golf.com.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the first ever Baltimore basketball player to reach the Naismith Hall of Fame as we talk to those who knew Carmelo Anthony best about how his Baltimore upbringing shaped his legendary career. Also inside, Bo Smolka profiles Ravens second-round pick Mike Green and find our annual summer travel section with information on some of the best sporting events and activities in Maryland that your family can check out all summer long. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here as we wind down for a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of GCR. Again, we're giving away a pair of tickets to any day of the BMW Championship. That seems noteworthy. That seems like something that you'd want. All you got to do is respond. Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio or at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter. Scenario number one, would you rather a football genie offers you one of these two scenarios? The first is a guarantee that Mike Green will be an immediate star and will win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay, so I should place that bet as well.
Or the guarantee is just that Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry will stay healthy for the entirety of the season.
Well, I guess.
And as I've had to point out to a couple people, you get whatever the normal odds would be on the other scenario, right? So it doesn't mean that Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, if you pick Mike Green, it doesn't mean they're going to get hurt.
They're going to get hit by an asteroid.
It just means you don't know. And if you pick that, maybe Mike Green will be Defensive Rookie of the Year, right? You don't know. You're picking one or the other.
No,
and
like,
the other one is
no, like, diarrhea, no stomach cramps for Lamar.
Just said healthy. I didn't say doesn't have to run to the bathroom during the course of a game. Just said healthy.
Which I guess they have a good record when he does have to run to the bathroom.
God, there was somebody that I did that with recently, and they were like offended. Oh, was it Kadri that was like, we ain't doing that? Or something like that.
That sounds like Kadri would react that way.
Like, man, just having fun here.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to guarantee Lamar doesn't get hurt, it's fine. Then yes, I'll do that one. How am I in a spot where, like, that's less fun?
It really, like, that's the difficult part about this scenario is, like, you feel like, am I taking the $20 or the magic beans, right? Like, what am I doing here? Because $20 seems nice. I didn't have those $20. But the magic beans could be anything.
Could be $20.
Could be $20. Could be $100. Could be $1,000. Could be $5. You know, like, because yes, the scenario where Mike Green is Defensive Rookie of the Year, but Lamar Jackson gets hurt, then I got nothing.
Yeah,
I should have just taken those $20.
So you have to take Lamar. It doesn't. I mean, Derrick Henry's a good bonus, but I guess you have to throw him in there.
Oh, you definitely have to throw him in there. Do you have to? Do you have to do that?
Do I have to pick Lamar? Yeah.
Yeah.
Lamar needs to stay healthy.
I know he needs to stay healthy. But
Cooper
we're not
Rush
telling
just looks so bad.
In the other scenario, I'm not telling you he's not going to be healthy.
Now we're going to have to trade
for
Tyler Huntley with the Browns.
Can you roll the dice on the upside of Mike Green and the likelihood that Lamar Jackson... Like, Lamar's going to be hurt during the course of the year anyway. It's just, does he avoid significant injuries?
Or he doesn't get hurt at all.
I'm tempted to take the Mike Green thing.
I think Lamar is the correct answer.
I think it's the safe answer. I'm tempted to take the Mike Green thing and say, I bet he does. I bet he does. Because we're making all these bets assuming that he's going to. Like, we're all putting money in on Ravens futures and stuff like that. You think he's going to stay healthy to make those bets.
What's the Super Bowl this year?
San Francisco, like the worst possible Super Bowl.
San Francisco's a fun place. It's a good city.
Is it? It's fine. Like, it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad
How's
place.
San Francisco in February?
I don't even know. I got to tell you, man, of like all of the work that we did to figure out.
We're touring Alcatraz.
Yeah, I don't. But this is the thing. I got to be honest. I don't even know if we're going.
Oh.
Did all the work.
What?
I did all the work on Vegas. I did all the work on New Orleans. Now I'm like,
all right. Then I guess I can make it official. I'm looking for another.
You're looking for new up. That's the only reason why you stayed. Is out of the off chance the Ravens were in the Super Bowl.
Third time's the charm. Has to be.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying definitively no. I'm just saying that like I'm not as inspired as I've been in other years.
New Orleans and Las Vegas.
Yeah, those like Phoenix would have been a great place to have been in the Super Bowl.
We don't have any connections.
I got nothing. Zero.
San Francisco.
I guess we could stay with Kenny Amadololo in San Jose.
Boom.
Like, I guess we could do that.
Right, yeah. Just the San Jose radio route.
God. It's the other part of it is I don't. All right, we'll talk about that off the air.
Ken would let us stay there, right?
Oh, almost. To Ken, are you kidding me? He would make us dinner. He'd be like, let's have a luau. I don't even know how far away San Jose is.
It's like an hour,
San
I think.
Francisco, is it?
Which I guess doesn't sound too bad.
Genuinely. And how far is it away from Santa Clara? Because the game's not even in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's in Santa Clara.
So where would Radio...
I have no idea, dog. No clue. Presumably Radio Row would be in San Francisco, I would assume. But whatever. Number 2, would you rather the Orioles keep Mike Elias but bring in Skip Schumacher or the veteran manager of your choice, respected veteran manager of your choosing? Or they fire Elias, replace him with the general manager of your choosing.
Bobby Valentine, maybe.
Is that the one that you want?
Yeah.
If that's who you want, that's who you get.
Need a hard ass, right?
They fire Mike Elias, replace him with the general manager of your choosing.
Sure. Me? I don't know.
Only to keep Tony Mansolino as the full-time manager.
I mean, yeah, I want Skip Schumacher, so I'll take that scenario. I'll take the Skip Schumacher scenario, and I mean, you know,
I think this is part of the reason.
There's
why
no way. I don't know.
I think this is actually part of the reason why we haven't got as many responses. Is I believe that people are struggling, genuinely. Like the people that don't, they're like fire Elias, and I'm like, okay, you can,
but Tony Mansolino's
but
your
it
man.
means you're keeping points. Like, that's what you're getting.
Well, maybe he adjusts and he.
Oh, he learns they're called
he learns
runs.
What they're called, or you know, he says scores or something.
I don't know. Yeah,
give up a lot of scores in the 9th inning, you know, something like that.
Sure,
he adjusted slightly.
All the scores. That's what it becomes. This one is tough for me because
I want Skip Schumacher. I think
that
I don't know. I want a manager.
I think that's the correct answer. I definitely don't think Tony Mansolino is the correct answer, but if Mike Elias, if like you're telling me that the next general manager is given a blank check and wants to spend it, then I'm like,
they bring in Billy Beane,
Kyle Tucker, yeah, right. Is Billy Beane some of
well,
the.
I guess he doesn't.
Yeah,
well, he would spend. He spent money with the Red Sox.
Theo Epstein, like wants to come spend a bunch of money. David Rubenstein. By the way, I realized as soon as I said it, and I forgot to correct myself. I called Roger Rosengarten Roger Rosenstein.
Yeah,
I did that. I knew it as soon as I did it.
You were like kind of on a roll, so I was getting ready to jump in. And I was like,
I didn't want to step on Rod to correct myself, so it's just gonna live there. That I called Roger Rosengarten.
Rod,
I think
he said Stein.
Whatever it was. I know it was wrong. I know that. I got it wrong, 100%. But I knew immediately that I got it wrong. Because what I was really doing was like trying to remember the 3 names, and then I just said the wrong thing.
Yeah,
I screwed up.
I was thinking, you better hope Rod doesn't give a great answer here, and we have
to
clip it.
Oh God, that would be bad. What do we could bring back the botch game.
Steinarten.
Well, there was something that Brian sent me recently that could be the next food punishment. Oh, we got to work on both things.
Shoot. Yeah, we do.
Well, the Jeremy thing is related to the surgery, so we got to wait on that. But you have a lot of work to do on my punishment. You've done nothing. Nothing. You've reached out to no hair removal places.
I haven't. You know
what? You gotta get on that.
You're right, I do.
You gotta start working on that. Like I'm not purposely trying to push it off. Ideally, we do it before pick start again. Ideally. Yeah. But that requires you to start getting on it. And if we got to do it in pieces, we do it in pieces. I would like to do it all, but it is a lot. Like we're doing a lot of things. So that might not be the possibility. But Brian sent me another one since the popsicles. And I don't remember what it was, but we could make that for the botch game. We could bring back the botch game. I'm not opposed to bringing back the botch game. And I would, if we did, I would get one for Roger Rosenstein or whatever.
How does the botch game work? So like we just keep a track.
You keep it like whoever first to 10 botches, like genuine botches.
Like like you're seriously trying to say.
Yeah, like you really screw something up, you don't immediately
I
correct.
Call
like
Derrick Henry, Derrick Jackson. I don't
something
know.
like that.
But like I'm dead serious.
And it's but it's more than that for you because it's also producing botches.
Oh, okay.
That count because you don't talk as much as I do, so it can't just be.
No, this is a good game. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, but
work
you've been
that
doing
way.
this 20 years.
I understand that. They would be producing botches. Like if you forget to hit play on the commercial break or something, then you would get a botch for that. Brian would be the arbiter
but it's
of the
probably
botch.
still not my fault though.
Is it though?
No,
is
it's
it?
not because something would have happened where like
Yeah.
a guest didn't show, and then
Right.
I had a different mic on or something, and then I had to.
I have always
threw me
been
off.
fair in terms of botches, whether something was genuinely a botch or.
So I get to plead my case, and then we decide.
Yeah, now I'm the arbiter, and I'm your
Well.
competition, which is a little unfair. But there's got to be an arbiter. I guess Brian gets to be the arbiter, but Brian doesn't understand all the inner workings. That's the problem. He might not know. And sometimes things that I might screw up might also be because we have 70 things going on at the same time, and I'm distracted by there's a stranger walking in the front door like, hey! So I'm in the middle of my train
I
of
was about
thought.
to say, or tennis is on, and then.
Well, yeah, that's unfair.
Oh, okay, so
That's
you get
unfair.
excused from anything during the U.S.
Naomi
Open.
Osaka, baby, into the semifinals. Also,
the first national Canadian Open.
Yeah, it's the
Bank
National
Open.
Bank Open is what it's called. But for my kids, it's called the Canadian Open. And thankfully, I won't be distracted tonight because there's
Got
no
a Canadian
Orioles.
Open tidbit for you.
Oh, how about that? The other big deal from the Canadian Open is that there will be tonight the first semifinal between two American men at a one. So
It's Fritzy, right?
They call it the Masters Series.
Where Fritz won last night.
Yeah, he's won in his quarterfinals. He plays in the semifinals tonight against Ben Shelton. So it's the first All-American 1,000 level. So 1,000 level is the level right below the Grand Slams. There's 4 Grand Slams, and then all the next highest level events are the 1,000 level, the Masters Series. This is the first.
Are there like what, like 8 of them, or like what's?
How many?
Or it just varies.
No, how many?
Like is the Cincinnati seems like a big one. Is that one
level? That is 100.
Okay.
Yep.
Was the one in DC?
No, that's a 500 level. So that's the next level. The lowest level is 250, then 500, then 1,000. Like a 250 event, 250 and 500s. There can be other events going on elsewhere in the world at the same time.
The one in Challengers. What level was that?
That's like a. They actually call it. It's legitimately the Challengers Tour, is what they call it, which is where they got the name from. Yeah, there are 9 1,000 level events every year. And so this is the first All-American men's semifinal at a 1,000 level event since 2010 tonight. So I know you'll be glued. I know that's all you'll be watching.
Is it what? It's just on Tennis Channel.
It is on the Tennis Channel, correct?
I mean, there is nothing tonight.
Yeah.
Right?
What else are you doing? What else are you doing?
God, Hard Knocks. I can't stomach it this year.
Oh,
Bills. Ugh.
Is it just because of the Bills or because
Josh Allen?
the
like
show's
it's
bad?
it's like, oh, this is coming off an MVP season, and I get it. Oh, Haley Steinfeld.
I mean, the show was so bad. The AFC North thing was so bad you couldn't get me to watch.
No, Hard Knocks is still good. The off-season Hard Knocks was so good.
It might have been. I'm telling you, the AFC North Hard Knocks was.
And it's more fun watching a dumpster
worthless.
fire. Like watching the Bears
Yeah.
Hard Knocks is
just no idea what they're
fun.
doing.
Watching the Jets
Quickly,
Hard Knocks is fun.
because the Orioles game is going to start soon. Number 3, your lifelong best friend informs you that he is.
The redeeming qualities were Ty Johnson.
Do you love Ty Johnson?
Deion Dawkins, he's a great guy. He's
Okay.
he's a character. And then we all knew that Tre'Davious White was back in Buffalo, right? Ravens legend.
Did we all know that Tre'Davious White was still in the NFL? I don't think that I knew that.
So he's back there.
All right. Good for him.
Yeah. Sorry. Last would you rather?
Would you rather, number 3, would you rather your lifelong best friend comes to you and says, dude, I got to tell you something.
Uh-oh. He's pregnant.
I'm starting to feel romantic feelings towards my AI.
This happened, actually.
Or would you rather your lifelong best friend starts showing up at events? Are you coming to the pig roast, by the way? I don't even know if you're coming.
Oh, what's the?
It's not this Saturday. It's the following Saturday.
I don't know why not. I guess so. Yeah.
So you're
the Ravens play at let's see.
I don't know what time the Ravens play, but if
they play at 7. All right, so
you can come. You're saying you'll come beforehand.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, I should be able to.
So, actually, that would be great news for me if like other people came earlier. I'm definitely in the phase of my life where like when people start showing up at 7 o'clock at night, I'm like, dude, the party's over. Like, we're done. This is a hard like 6:30 cutoff anymore for the pig roast. Like, get here at 12. Our friends TNA Wrestling is in town next weekend, and my buddy AJ, like, he's a real problem for him. He asked me to move the pig roast to Sunday because their call time is at 1 o'clock on Saturday for their show at UMBC. And I said, brother, show up at 11 a.m. We'll get some slip and slide in. We'll play some can jam. In fact, I'm willing to end the party at 1 o'clock. That is the new Glenn Clark.
Up to 11 to 1.
Oh, my God. That sounds amazing.
We're on the Vegas schedule.
Yeah, right? Sounds incredible. Do you imagine? I'll even keep it going. He might have to leave at 1. I'll keep the party going until 4. But then a hard end at 4 o'clock? Ah! Please. It'd be amazing. I don't think I'm going to get away with it. Anyway, what was I saying?
Yeah, that would mean I have to show up earlier.
Yeah, right. Something about something. I don't
know. We're playing Would You Rather.
So, yeah, your buddy either
okay.
tells you he's falling for his AI bot, or...
What does this have to do with the pig roast? How did the pig roast enter your mind?
He starts showing up everywhere he goes. So you invite him to the pig roast, and he shows up, and now he is following a trend that apparently has become popular in China. He now uses an adult pacifier.
No.
This is apparently a thing that's occurring in China.
The thing is, though, he doesn't.
Where adults are taking the pacifier use to deal with stress.
Does it work?
I don't know.
Like they're walking around in public with this?
Apparently, it's part of life, man. They are
adult pacifiers, stress relief, and sleep. I mean, the sleep
part, maybe. I don't know. There's been more and more of that. More and more of that. So which would you rather?
Big dummies in an array of colors snapped up for as much as $70 online as grown-ups try to deal with the strain of a mad world. This whole article looks it's hard to read. I don't think. Okay, so my friend is falling for the AI, or he uses a pacifier.
Yes.
And
he's got romantic feelings. He admits to you that he's got romantic feelings for his AI.
There's nothing redeeming about either of these options.
These are your two options. One or the other.
Yeah, go for it. Maybe the AI will say yes. Go for it.
You really want
to you befriend the...
What do? You want
to befriend the robots, right?
There was a CBS Sunday morning story about a guy that was having an affair with his AI bot. No, he's married.
Yeah, no, I think I remember
has
this.
A kid and is having an affair with his AI.
Because they cut to the wife, and she's like, I don't know what I did wrong.
That's exactly, it. You're familiar with this. This inspired me because it was brought to my attention. I think it's the pacifier for me. Like, I think that we can work through that somehow. I don't know that I can continue to work
sure, it's a conversation starter, wherever you go.
How do you talk to your friend that's romantically involved with his AI? How do you...
Probably like I normally do.
Dude, really?
God,
Hey, so how's Sally doing? I don't think I can do it, man. I just don't think it's possible. So I think it has to be the other one for me.
Yeah, but I mean, you just treat it. Yeah, you just treat it like normal, and I think it's. All
right.
What was the name of the? What was the? Yeah, Samantha. That was the name of the AI and her.
Right. Correct. Scarlett Johansson.
Like, Samantha, she's letting me have it today.
Real a ball and chain. God. All right, get your responses in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. Someone is winning a pair of tickets any day of their choice to the BMW Championship next week. Tidbit is going to be brought to you today by the Stan the Fan Variety Hour. If you missed Stan the Fan, Ross Grimsley and Ken Singleton talking baseball this week. Facebook.com/PressBox Sports. Click on the videos tab. Go to YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline. Or you can also go to PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan's shows brought to you by the Costas Inn and the all-new Costas Inn, now open in Timonium.
My Canadian Open tidbit. It is for Karen Khachanov, who has 15.
It's the first time anyone's ever thought. It's the first time anyone's ever said the words. For Karen Khachanov.
Only 4 active players have won more singles matches at the Canadian Open than Karen Khachanov. Khachanov has 15 match wins at the Canadian Open. What 4 active guys have more Canadian wins than Canadian Open wins?
Well, obviously, Novak Djokovic.
Joker has 37, yes.
And then it really does become a question, right? Because do you still count Stan Wawrinka as being active?
Yes.
So he's on the list.
Yes.
There's one other one?
2 others.
2 others?
Wawrinka, he'll tie Wawrinka if he wins today.
Kei Nishikori?
No.
It's a little surprising. I mean, Kei's had a weird career. This is where like you're walking the line between could one of these young guys have somehow already won this many matches? I'll take a stab at Alcaraz. Yeah. I mean, they're young, but like, and he's not playing this year, so. How about they don't still count like Gasquet as being
no.
Yeah.
When's the last time Gasquet had a match?
I thought he just formally retired earlier this year, or like announced his retirement earlier this year. That's why I didn't know if they had like.
This is from all Opta Ace on Twitter, by the way.
Oh yeah, Opta Ace on Twitter.
The Opta Stats family.
Yeah, right.
Opta Ace. I think it'd be a good follow for you.
How about Medvedev?
Not Medvedev.
Do they still count? Oh, Cilic, Marin Cilic.
Not Cilic. This is the other, I guess, unfortunate is I don't have like the full list, so I don't know how close those guys are.
I just trying. I don't like. The problem is I don't want to feel stupid, but I've already gotten a few wrong, so maybe I should just start naming anybody. Active player that has Zverev.
Yes, Zverev. Okay. That's who he has tonight, right? Mm-hmm. Zverev also has 16, so if he wins tonight, he'll tie Wawrinka and Zverev.
What about
active guys? And then there's one guy.
What about Tsitsipas?
Not Tsitsipas. Second most Canadian wins right now among active guys with 24. He's
Monfils?
Yep. Gael Monfils.
I thought Monfils. Is he still not in now?
Yeah, I just thought he was still playing, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Wasn't he at the last
Slam?
Slam?
You're right. He is. He is still playing. But did he announce that he's going to retire?
I don't know. You would know.
Trying to remember.
You would know. Who's he dating?
Oh my God.
It's not.
Right. No, it's a star.
It ends in a vowel, right?
It's Svitolina. Yes,
yeah,
it's Svitolina, right?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. But
because she lost last night.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's not Rybakina. I think it's Svitolina. Double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's who it is. Svitolina. When did I gotta double check my
Svitolina. Elina Svitolina.
Gasquet. Yeah, the French Open was the end for him. The 2025 French Open was his last.
So then he does not. I mean, I don't know how many he had. So maybe he would have qualified. I guess I would assume since he's been around.
I don't know. I don't know enough about his history at the Canadian Open to be able to answer that question.
And then I guess we can end on that. Other than the couple quick ones, fastest pitch homered off of under pitch tracking last night. Mason Miller, 103.9. Lourdes Gurriel tied the game with a 2-run homer off of Mason Miller yesterday in Arizona.
How about that?
Fastest pitch homered off of in the pitch tracking era.
Congratulations.
Yes, exactly.
I think it still counts for the exact same amount of runs.
Shea Langeliers had a 3-home run game yesterday, 15 total bases in the game, tied for the most by a catcher in a game since 1950, when, of course, Wes Westrum.
Oh, great! The great Wes Westrum
had 15 total bases for the New York Baseball Giants.
You don't know this. Wes was actually short for Westrum.
Really?
His name was Westrum.
Yeah,
wow, 100%.
Westrum.
You know how many people believe that was true about Cam Cameron? Do you have any idea how many people thought the man's name was Cameron Cameron?
I mean, I was one of them, so yeah.
Did you think his name was Cameron?
I was a kid. Like,
it was not.
It's definitely
Cameron,
a joke.
Not Cameron.
We
Cameron.
certainly. First player since, I think first player since at least 1900 to have 3 homers in his first career game batting leadoff. Shea Langoliers.
How about that?
Yeah. And then I'll save the other ones for tomorrow.
All right, very good. Let's get tubular.
Okay, everybody, it's going to be quick today.
What was the main focus today, Coach?
Fundamentals, ball control. It's always huge.
Any early thoughts on the competition this year?
Well, look, this is the best of the best players in the world. It's going to be an amazing tournament.
Tournament?
Yeah, the BMW Championship at Caves Valley. What are you guys talking about? All they ever ask me about is football.
All right. Here's what's coming up totally tubular-wise. They're going to play another Orioles-Phillies game because...
Let's go. Can't get swept. No chance.
Do have the ace on the mound today. The problem is the Phillies have Ranger Suarez on the mound, so...
Darn it. He's left-handed.
It could be another one. It could be exactly like the Friday afternoon game. This could 100% be another 1-0 hour and 20-minute type of game.
Is the wind blowing in?
12:35 on Masson. Other baseball today, 6:45 for Athletics Nationals on Masson 2. FS1 Brewers Braves 7:15. MLB TV has Twins Tigers at 1:10. MLB, that's the free game. MLB Network, Guardians Mets 1:10. Cardinals Dodgers 4:10. Padres Diamondbacks 9:40. NBA TV for the Aces. And what's going on with the Aces, man? What happened to them? They lost by like 50-some points the other night.
Oh, really? I know Asia Wilson's been like banged up, but like she's been relatively healthy.
It's been a mess for them. Another dildo thrown last night at
what's the total up to?
I think this was the Pacers or the Fever and Sparks, I believe. So now I believe that's 3 dildos now thrown if you're keeping score. Gotcha.
What's your way of color for the next one?
I think these have all been green.
They've all been.
I think they've all been green.
Next
so
one has to be blue is due. Blue is due.
I don't know what this. That's, you're gonna go throw a bet in on that. I don't have to go to Vegas. I can bet what color dildo is gonna be thrown at a game. As I mentioned, anyway, Aces Valkyries 10 o'clock on NBA TV. The National Bank Open semifinals tonight, 6 o'clock on the Tennis Channel. The American men will be second because they played yesterday, so they'll be the second semifinal tonight. The Naomi Osaka will be in the second semifinal, I believe, on the women's side, and the Canadian sensation, who none of us had heard of, other than you, obviously, because you're a big Victoria.
Before Wimbledon, yeah.
Victoria Mboko.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, you hadn't heard of her still.
Never mind.
She's in the semifinals. She plays in the early semifinal tonight. And then, that's about it. AEW on TBS at 8 o'clock. Some soccer on Apple TV+. You can find it at glennclarkradio.com. Anything non-sports-wise?
Josh Brolin and the Black Keys will be on Stephen Colbert.
Does that count when it's a musical guest? Do we still do the...
Sure, right? No?
I don't know what the rule is for that. Okay. They're plugging Nobody 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's, again, everybody's in the Nobody 2.
Right?
And nobody from Nobody 2 is plugging Nobody 2 this week, which is weird.
I understand.
Josh Brolin, I thought was I was jokingly I was going to say he's plugging the Goonies, but apparently there actually is talk of trying to do a Goonies sequel at some point.
Don't.
He's also in that movie Weapons. That comes out this weekend with Julia Garner. Seth Rogen and Heidi Klum will be on Fallon.
Plugging Wicked too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Pete Davidson and Taylor Schilling. Will be on Seth Meyers.
Plugging the Avatar 7 or whatever, new Avatar.
I think it's the third one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. MasterChef, we got a new episode of that, Always Sunny, and South Park, and it is Wednesday Season 2 on Netflix, the Addams Family, the Jenna Ortega. Yes, that's on Netflix. And then Pete Davidson is actually plugging The Pickup, which is a new movie on Prime Video with Eddie Murphy. So Pete Davidson and Eddie Murphy and Keke Palmer. So they're armored truck drivers. Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson are.
I watched the Keke Palmer SZA movie on the plane.
Which movie was that?
What is that called? One of those days or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Was it any good?
I enjoyed it. Okay. It was fun. It was a fun movie. I watched it on the plane.
One of them days.
Is that what it was called?
Yes.
One of them.
It's on Netflix now.
It was fun. Yeah.
I
mean, it wasn't great.
I like Keke Palmer. I love Keke Palmer.
And what's her face from Abbott Elementary that I like? Who plays the principal?
Oh yeah, I know. I don't know. Janelle James.
Yes, thank you, Janelle James. That's exactly who it was.
Yeah, but this movie is Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson. They're armored truck drivers, and then they get ambushed. They get ambushed. They get robbed, and like taken hostage. And it turns out that Keke Palmer is the mastermind behind the whole operation, and Pete Davidson hooked up with her the night before, not knowing that that she was a criminal mastermind.
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, Marshawn Lynch is in it as well.
Oh.
What do you mean? Oh,
I don't know.
That's another tick up.
What was the movie he was in with like Beanie Feldstein? That movie was okay.
The one that came out this year. Like
no, they were like lesbians. They started a karate club or a self-defense class to try to hook up with girls.
The one with
and he played
the one with Short Round that came out earlier this year.
Yeah,
was
that
terrible.
was you said that was bad. I did not watch that.
Marshawn Lynch was the best part of it.
He played the PE teacher in this movie.
Love Hurts was the name of one that came out this year. The Bottoms.
Yes, Bottoms.
Yes, yeah, Bottoms.
Yes, that was
Bottoms.
the movie. It was fine. It was Beanie Feldstein, right? Am I right about that, or is it somebody else?
Beanie Feldstein.
No,
it says Ruby Cruz,
okay.
Rachel Sinat,
Rachel
Ayo
Sinat
Edebiri.
Rachel, yeah, that's who I was thinking. Ayo Edebiri was definitely in it. Yep.
Who else was in this? Marshawn Lynch.
Yep.
Yeah, that's but yes, not Bottoms, but the Pickup. That is on
okay.
That is on Prime
Right,
Video.
Can we wrap I don't want to watch the
that
Orioles
instead of the
game, but
Temps.
we got to wrap.
I think that's everything. Yeah.
All right, very good. Thanks today to Gerry DiNardo. Thanks also and for his flexibility. Thanks also to Nick Cross from the Colts and to Rod Woodson. We'll get it up in the greatest hits section of the. Oh, are you going back to this? Say his name and he appears.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Come on, man. We got to come up with something.
That one's really good, though.
Tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Tomorrow on the program, Buck Showalter apparently is joining us.
Yes. We'll head out to Bowie, check in with the Chesapeake Bay Sox. Brandon Butterworth.
One of the new.
Yes. He came in over in the San Diego deal.
Okay.
So this is the new Ramon Laureano / Rhino Hearn.
Very good.
Yeah. And Rick Venturi will be able to join us as well.
Former Baltimore Colts assistant, now Indianapolis Colts radio analyst.
Correct.
We'll talk to him
Rick
before
Venturi.
the preseason game. Very good. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Game Day Men's Health, Live Casino and Hotel, the BMW Championship, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Baltimore's Classic 5 Golf Courses, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, the Costas Inn, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, BuyAToyota.com, and the Maryland 5-Star. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. If you follow us on TikTok, email producer@PressBoxOnline.com. You can win a pair of tickets to next Thursday's Orioles-Mariners game.
Ooh.
Producer@PressBoxOnline.com. If you're not following us on TikTok, go follow us on TikTok. Take a picture, send it to producer@PressBoxOnline.com. You can win a pair of tickets. Have a great Wednesday evening. Go
Trevor Rogers.
Birds. Duke sucks.